A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the life of Mary Sothern. Mary's reaction to the death of her husband, Max Sanders, has been unnatural and incomprehensible to her friends. Refusing to accept the inevitable, she has left home and friends and is in the distant city of Craig's Falls, where she believes Max wishes her to build a new life. And she believes, too, that the young man named David, who has befriended her, is destined to play an important part in this new life. Dr. John Benson, however, and Mary's other friends in Sanders are not willing to let her break with the past. Her new friends, David and Father Brady, and some of her presence in court. While David was with Father Brady at the settlement house, Mrs. McPherson, the landlady of the boarding house, found Mary reading a newspaper account of her own disappearance. But David has not yet returned, and Mrs. McPherson has not yet had time to tell him this news. Now, it is later that same afternoon. David is with his good friend Father Brady, waiting anxiously for the arrival of Dr. John Benson.
Oh, why doesn't this Dr. Benson get here if he's coming?
Oh, it's an 80-mile drive from Sanders, and the roads are bad. Don't be impatient, David.
Don't get me wrong, Father. I don't care if he never comes. Well, now that we've heard he's definitely on his way, I'd like to have it over with.
I have an idea you'll be glad to see him, David.
I thought you said his voice sounded young on the phone.
Oh, that was my first impression, but it's hard to judge. I don't understand why you resent the man when you haven't even met him.
What?
After all, he's a doctor, not a sweetheart.
Why do you say that, Father? You mean I'm jealous of our old friends? You think I'm in love with Mary?
Yes, and it worries me.
Yes, but I'm not in love with her.
Perhaps not. But, David, would you forgive me if I use the privilege of an old friend, talk frankly?
Yes, of course. Go ahead, Father.
It worries me to see you becoming so fond of me.
Why? I can't help liking her. She's so sweet and helpless and gentle.
I agree with you. She's more than that. She's a charming and attractive woman. And there'd be no harm in your liking her or loving her if she were in a normal state of mind.
Yes, but I'm not in love with her, I tell you, Father. You know how I feel about women.
I know that you loved the wrong woman once. A woman who wasn't worthy to be loved. But because she let you down badly, it's not fair to condemn all women.
No woman's going to hurt me again. And the only way to make sure of that is to keep away from all of them.
What about Mary?
Oh, she's different. That's what you don't seem to understand. I'm not in love with her. It's not that at all. I just sort of feel that I have to take care of her. You know, the way you'd look after a stray kitten that you find on your doorstep.
I see. I only mentioned this because I don't want you to be hurt again.
Hurt by Mary?
Yes. Well, I don't mean that she'd ever hurt you willingly or consciously. I just mean that you've met her at a time when she's groping, trying to recover from the shock of her husband's death.
You think when she's over it, she won't be interested in me?
I'm trying to warn you of that possibility, David.
Do you think that's Dr. Benson, Father?
I hope so. Come in.
Father Brady?
Yes.
Father Brady, I'm Dr. Benson of Sanders. You say you found Mary Sanders here in Craig's Falls?
Yes, there's no possible doubt, Dr. Benson. Mary is here.
I hope you're right. Forgive me for being skeptical, Father Brady, but I've had several disappointments.
Well, David and I are convinced beyond any doubt that this really is Mary Sanders. We'll take you to her in a very few minutes. Dr. Benson, this is my friend, David Drake.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Father Brady, I must see Mary. I'll be everlastingly grateful to you if you really found her. But really is she.
It was David who found her on Christmas night and took her home with him.
Took her home?
To his boarding house, Doctor.
Oh.
His landlady, Mrs. McPherson, is an excellent woman who has taken good care of Mary. And so has David, I assure you.
I see. As soon as I'm sure it is Mary, I'll give you the $500 reward money.
Are you insulting me deliberately, Dr. Benson?
David, please. David doesn't want your money, Doctor. He took Mary in out of the cold because she needed shelter and warm clothing. Not because he wanted money.
I'm sorry. You'd understand why I mentioned the money if you were the phone calls I've had, the false clues I followed. Because people were so anxious to collect that reward.
We understand.
Now, if you'll please take me to Mary. If it is Mary.
It's Mary, all right.
I'm beginning to believe I've really found her, and I've been so worried. You see, I'm not only her physician, but also her best friend.
Her best friend?
Yes, Mary will tell you that if you only take me to her.
In just a few minutes, Doctor. I'd like to talk to you about Mary first.
She's not sick.
You'll be a better judge of that than I, Dr. Benson. But it's apparent to me that she's suffering from shock. It may be amnesia or a partial amnesia.
Obviously. Or she'd have returned home before this.
But on the other hand, it almost seems to me that it's not really amnesia at all. I'd say she's making a deliberate attempt to forget her old life and her old friends.
Yes, that's what I think. That's out of the question. She's been in a highly nervous and emotional state ever since her husband's death.
She feels that her husband is not dead to her. She talks to him frequently.
Yes, she has that obsession. It undoubtedly is married.
From what David tells me, she's convinced that her future lies here in Craig's Fall.
But that's absurd.
Perhaps. But I must tell you this before you see her. David here has had a curious effect on her.
What do you mean by that, Father Brady?
I'm not quite sure. It's difficult to explain. But yesterday she told me she felt she had been destined to meet him. It's quite apparent that he reminds her of someone she has known and loved in the past.
Someone she's known in the past.
Why go into all that?
Because Dr. Benson is her physician, and I think it's important for him to know.
Yes, it may be important, but probably isn't.
Well, that's for you to decide, Dr. Benson.
Please, forgive me if I seem curt or impatient. I get so worried about Mary.
Oh, of course. That's all I wanted to say now, Doctor. When you see Mary or David, you'll understand what I mean. Will you take him to Mary now, David?
Okay.
Mrs. McPherson's boarding house is only a few blocks away, Doctor. Come in.
Oh, David, I thought you'd be here.
Mrs. McPherson, what's happened?
It's Mary.
Mary?
I ran all the way to tell you.
Something's happened to Mary.
Well, please tell us as quickly as you can, Mrs. McPherson. She's not hurt,
I know. She's gone away.
Gone away?
Well, we've got to find her. Come on, let's go.
David, wait till we hear the whole story.
Yes?
Have you any idea of where she's gone, Mrs. McPherson, or why?
About an hour ago. No, maybe an hour and a half ago. I found her reading the newspaper.
The story about the reward?
Yes. And her voice sounded so shaky and queer when she asked if you or Father Brady had seen the paper.
Yes, go on.
I'm sorry, I've got to introduce you. Mrs. McPherson, this is Mary's family doctor from Sanders, Dr. John Jensen.
Oh, then you're the one she's afraid of.
What? Mary afraid of me? Nonsense.
Did Mary say anything about Dr. Benson, Mrs. McPherson?
Yes. After she'd read the story, she said she supposed someone had told John. He'd probably be on his way here. And that's when her voice got so scared and shaky.
But this is ridiculous. I've known Mary for years.
I knew this would happen. I knew she didn't want to see any of her old friends. That's why she's run away.
Nonsense. It's more than likely that her memory's returned, that she's taken a bus or train home to Sanders. I'm going to check the railroad and bus stations right away.
You'll waste time doing that, Dr. Benson. But go ahead if it'll make you feel better.
You talk as if you could read Mary's thoughts, Mr. Drake. Drake?
Dr. Benson, I know Mary well enough to be sure that she has not gone back to Sanders.
Wherever Mary is, and whatever your differences of opinion, Dr. Benson and David, I'm sure you'll agree that Mary must be found.
Absolutely. She's in no condition to be wandering around alone. But it's quite obvious to me what's happened. The newspaper stories have restored her memory completely. And she's on her way back to Sanders.
I'd like to believe you, Dr. Benson. I'd like to think she was safely on a train or bus.
David.
Yes?
That man who recognized Mary last night in the coffee shop.
I'm thinking of that. I'm going down there right now. I wish I thought you were right, Dr. Benson. But I'm as sure as I've ever been of anything on this earth that Mary hasn't left Craig's Falls of her own will.
Our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, enjoyed her vacation during the holidays just as much as any other teacher. But as it drew to a close, she had a peculiar reaction.
Although I felt that my vacation had done me a lot of good, now that it was over, I was keyed up and enthusiastic, simply raring to go. Raring to go on another 2 weeks vacation. Meanwhile, I went about the business of getting used to working again and spent the past week noticing conditions which hadn't seemed so deplorable during the hustle and bustle of holiday time at the school. I was telling my landlady, Mrs. Davis, about them while we were having breakfast Friday morning.
Let me pour you a cup of this coffee, Connie. It's Rio de Janeiro style. I just got the recipe.
Rio de Janeiro style?
Yes. I mashed up a few Brazil nuts and mixed them with the coffee ground. That's one reason why the blonde hair of a Brazilian is so outstanding.
But, Mrs. Davis, very few Brazilians have blonde hair.
That's another reason it's so outstanding. But I'm afraid I've interrupted something you started to say to me, Connie.
Oh, it wasn't very important. I had just said that
I really shouldn't do that. It's a habit I picked up from my brother Victor. He's terribly absent-minded.
I thought your sister Angela was the absent-minded one in the family.
Angela?
Yes, that's what you told me.
What did I tell you?
That she was very absent-minded.
Who?
Your brother Victor.
Now, how did you know that? You've never even met Victor. But he is confused sometimes, poor dear. Why, you could be talking about something to Victor and he'd seem as interested as could be in the conversation. But then if you just looked away for a moment, it could be right in the middle of a sentence that...
Yes, Mrs. Davis? Mrs. Davis? You, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, good morning, Connie. I was just looking for the cat out in the kitchen. She hasn't touched her milk.
What do you hear from Victor?
Victor? Oh, my brother. Oh, he's fine, thank you, dear. He calls me quite regularly. My sister Angela's the one that worries me. She's the absent-minded member of the family. But I keep feeling that I disrupted your train of thought. Did I, Connie?
There's not a car left on the tracks but the caboose. I was merely telling you, Mrs. Davis, that I never realized how bad conditions were at school until this cold spell set in. Why, my classroom is so drafty that half my pupils can't answer questions because their teeth are chattering.
That must be awful. Young people have such loud teeth.
Yes, sometimes my room sounds like a dice game on a tin roof.
Have you talked to the principal about it?
Not yet, but I'm going to today. He's just got to get the Board of Education to allot us a bigger budget for coal.
Well, I wish you luck, dear. Is Walter Denton picking you up this morning?
Yes, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, good. Connie, I'd like to apologize again for interrupting you before. As I say, I've been a little worried about my eccentric brother, Victor. Before you go, though...
Yes?
Goodbye, Connie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Davis. Hey, by the way, Mrs. Davis.
Yes, Connie. Yes, Connie, Why, she's gone. Poor thing. She's been under a terrible strain lately.
I'm glad you picked me up early, Walter. I've got to stop in and see Mr. Conklin before my first class.
Oh, golly, Miss Brooks, there must be some pleasanter way to start off a Friday morning for a perfectly nice English teacher.
Yes, there must be.
Oh, it isn't that I don't respect Mr. Conklin. It's just that... Oh, there's something about you, Miss Brooks, that... Well, before the hallowed walls of our beloved Madison High heaves into view, I want you to know that...
Just a minute, Walter. Would you mind taking that sentence again a little slower?
I nearly exclaimed, before the hallowed walls of our beloved Madison High heaves into view.
That's what I thought you exclaimed.
Anything wrong, Miss Brooks?
Well, frankly, Walter, I'd hesitate to correct that sentence without stopping at teacher's college for a refresher course. But what do you mean by heaves into view?
Well, every so often you read about a ship that hove into view, don't you?
Yes.
Well, hove must be the past tense, mustn't it? Heave, haved, hove, isn't it?
Oh, of course not, Walter. Heave, heaved, haved, heave, haved. What do you want me to know before Madison High heaves into view?
That you command as much respect as Mr. Conklin, plus the admiration of the entire student body. and that your personal warmth and charm is only exceeded by your excellence in your chosen field of instruction.
Ain't it the truth? I don't want to seem unduly inquisitive, Walter, but to what do I owe this verbal plaque?
Nothing. It's just a natural reaction. Completely spontaneous and unrehearsed.
And what did you get from our sponsor when you were selected as a contestant?
A pen and pencil set that's guaranteed... Oh, no, that's not fair. No, I'm being completely sincere and have no ulterior motive whatsoever.
Then thank you, Walter.
No, that's okay. Miss Brooks?
Yes?
Would you do me a favor?
If I say no, you'll take back the plaque. Well, what is it?
Well, it's the basketball team. As you know, I'm the new manager, so it's up to me to see Mr. Conklin about getting some things that we need immediately.
And?
And it's up to you to see Mr. Conklin for me because I'm rarely up to seeing Mr. Conklin. What I mean is that we've just got to get some more trunks.
Where are you going?
No, we're not going anywhere. No, we need stuff for the guys to put on while they're playing. You see, right now, every time we send in a substitute, he has to take a blanket along with him and change trunks with the fella he's replacing. About 10 pairs should do fine.
10 pairs? Why don't you just get a larger blanket?
Oh, no, this is serious, Miss Brooks. Oh, another thing you've got to talk to Mr. Conklin about for me is the temperature in the gym. It's so cold in there, a good humor man has to referee the game. Of course, I'm exaggerating, Miss Brooks.
I know, Walter, but, A, just what do you want me to ask, Mr. Conklin? And B, why should it be me instead of you?
Well, A, to requisition $100 worth of equipment for the basketball team from the school board, and B, because you're older and carry more weight.
And C, if we were driving in my car, you'd be walking by now.
Well, you don't understand, Miss Brooks. I'm not trying to shirk my duties, but... Oh, this is a legitimate beef. Let me put it this way. In the stockyards, when they want the sheep to run a certain way, they don't send a little lamb out to guide them. They send an old goat. I mean, you've seen it in the newsreels, I'm sure, where the goat and the... Gosh, I hope you're not mad, Miss Brooks.
Oh, forget it, Walter. Why should I be mad?
Then you'll do it? You'll ask Mr. Conklin for me?
I'll do my best. Now, you'd better start putting on your brakes.
My brakes?
Yes, the hallowed walls are hiving into view.
Ladies, regardless of age, skin type, or previous beauty care, doctors prove you, too, may win a lovelier complexion with Palmolive soap.
But to win this lovelier complexion, the kind men admire and women envy, you must stop improper cleansing. Instead, use Palmolive soap the way doctors advise.
Remember, 36 doctors, leading skin specialists, advised 1,285 women, many with complexion problems, to use Palmolive this way. Some have dry skin, some oily, some coarse-looking. Using Palmolive soap alone, 2 out of 3 won lovelier complexions. Now, here's what the doctors advise.
Wash your face with Palmolive soap. Massaging for 1 minute with Palmolive's soft lather. This cleansing massage brings your skin Palmolive's full beautifying effect. Rinse. Do this 3 times a day for 14 days.
It's that simple. But doctors have proved this way, using nothing but Palmolive, really works. So forget other beauty care. Use Palmolive soap alone for a lovelier complexion.
For loveliness all over, use big, thrifty bath-size Palmolive in your tub or shower.
Well, here we are at school, Miss Brooks. If you will kindly disembark, I'll find a place to park and then return for a joust with the forces of education.
If I was a gambler, Walter, I'd bet on you to place. Oh, there's Harriet Conklin. I think I'll ask her what kind of a mood her father's in.
Okay, Miss Brooks. I'll see you later.
Just a minute, Harriet. I'd like to talk to you.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. I'm glad we ran into each other.
Same here. Harriet, did you have breakfast with your father this morning?
Well, yes, I did.
How was he? His temper, I mean.
Pretty good, Miss Brooks. Until Mother showed him some of the bills that had come in.
Then what did he do?
Nothing unusual. He just slammed down his paper, bit through his coffee cup, and left. It could have been worse.
Sure, he could have bitten your mother.
That's one of the reasons I'm glad we ran into each other. Miss Brooks, did I ever tell you what an unending source of inspiration you are?
Oh, I must end somewhere.
I mean it, Miss Brooks. You're more than just an excellent instructor of English. You're...
I'm the patsy who's going to face your father with one of your problems.
All this and psychic, too. How did you know I wanted you to talk to Daddy for me, Miss Brooks?
Well, why should you be an exception, Harriet? What's your beef? Complaint?
The domestic science room. It's like a deep freeze.
That room, too?
It's so cold that most of us wear gloves all during the class. Makes it very awkward, Miss Brooks. Especially when we're trying to use the sewing machine.
Sounds pretty bad.
Bad? It's terrible. Yesterday, Bessie Snyder sewed 5 of her fingers together.
Oh, what's so terrible about that? Gives you an extra ladle for the cooking class.
It broke the sewing machine, and we need $200 for a new one.
Oh, but Harriet...
Miss Brooks, it's up to you to make conditions in this school livable.
For you mean? I'd better be armed with plenty of facts before I face your father, though. I think I'll make a survey of the rest of the rooms.
Starting with Mr. Boynton's biology laboratory?
Now who's psychic? Yes, Harriet, I think I'll interview the shy master of the microbes.
I've been in there, Miss Brooks. It's even colder than the other rooms. I hope you can do something about it.
I should be able to, with the experience I've had.
Well, what do you mean, Miss Brooks?
I've been trying to thaw Mr. Boynton out for years.
Come in.
Hello, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, it's you, Miss Brooks. How do you feel this morning?
Cold, thanks, especially in here. Where do you hang your sides of beef, Mr. Boynton?
Oh, this kind of silly at that. I was going to ask Mr. Conklin about the heating situation, but now that you're here, I wonder if you would...
Naturally.
You better slip this coat on. Even your voice is shivery.
No, this outfit I'm wearing is fairly warm. I've got 4 sweaters on, you know.
Really? Where?
Let's not get racy, Mr. Boynton.
Sorry, Miss Brooks. I didn't mean anything personal.
You never do.
Well, the situation is pretty bad. Now, take my prize frog, McDougal, for instance. He's had a sore throat for weeks, and now with this cold spell, I'm afraid he's developing sinus trouble. Oh, here's his cage right here.
Hello, Mac. How do you feel? Gesundheit. Have a Kleenex, Mac. You're welcome.
It's no wonder he's sick. Look at the tank he's in. No provisions for heating the water at all. Or this morning, his breakfast was frozen 2 inches from his nose. By the time he did eat, he had indigestion.
That's really awful, Mr. Boynton. This equipment is pretty obsolete. What's this bowl here? Oh, these must be some new fish. What's the name of these pretty blue ones, Mr. Boynton?
Goldfish. They're just cold.
They could slap their fins together. Oh, look at these cute little guinea pigs. Now, they're what I call sensible animals. Look how they huddle together for warmth in their cage. You know, Mr. Boynton, you and I could keep kind of warm that way, too.
Oh, no, we couldn't, Miss Brooks. We could never fit into a cage that size.
Well, no, but it would be fun trying to. Look, Mr. Boynton, about what do you estimate it would cost for new equipment for this lab?
Oh, a couple of $100, roughly. $150 if you smooth it out. That's a sort of a joke, Miss Brooks. First I said roughly, and then $150 if you smooth it out.
Oh. That's a Lulu.
I know another one, but I wish you'd stop me if you've heard it. It's about this group of people.
I've heard it.
You have? The one about the group of people who are all discussing something in a very animated manner, and suddenly they stop, and this one fellow says, "Is anybody eating a lifesaver?" And somebody else says, "Why?" And the first chap says, "Because there's a hole in the conversation." That's the one you've heard?
No, I heard a different one. Tell yours.
I just did tell it, Miss Brooks.
Oh, so you did, Mr. Boynton, and a little beauty it was, too. But I better get ready for my first class now. I'll see Mr. Conklin at the beginning of lunch period.
Well, it's awfully nice of you to do this, Miss Brooks. Will you have lunch with me afterwards?
Oh, I'd love to, Mr. Boynton.
And, Miss Brooks, please don't even bring your purse with you. It only embarrasses me when you try to pay your own check in the cafeteria.
All right, Mr. Boynton. I'll leave my bag in my desk.
Fine. When I see you to your room, I can pick up what you owe me.
good one, too. What am I laughing at? He's not kidding. Let's see this list now. Weather stripping for my room, $50. Basketball team equipment, $100. New sewing machine, about $200. And biology lab equipment, $150. Total, $500. Of course, that's without the additional coal we'll have to get. Well, here goes.
Come in.
Hello, Mr. Conklin. I just wanted to...
Sit down a moment, Miss Brooks. I'm speaking on the phone.
Yes, sir.
So you see, Miss Stanhope, this senseless extravagance has got to stop. Why, do you realize that your art class used up 3 more drawing pencils this month than last? What do you think the school board is made of? Money? What? How can you cut down? Tell the students not to sharpen them so often. And remember, Miss Stanhope, it isn't the 50 cents involved that's important. It's the money. Get on the ball and let's start cutting down expenses around here. Good day. Now, what do you want?
Happy New Year, Mr. Conklin. I just happened to be passing your office, and I thought I'd stop in and say hello.
Hello. Now, if you'll excuse me, I was just going to lunch.
But, Mr. Conklin, you don't want to go up to that drafty cafeteria.
What do you mean, drafty?
Oh, it is. It's almost as bad as the schoolrooms.
What?
And the gym and the biology laboratory and the domestic science room, in which your own daughter Harriet is at this very moment shivering and shaking while she sews her gloved fingers together on the sewing machine which Bessie Snyder broke. There, I said it, and I'm glad.
If you're angling for another vacation, Miss Brooks, the answer is no. Now compose yourself and talk like a rational human being.
Well, it's like this, Mr. Conklin. If we could get a larger appropriation from the school...
A larger appropriation? Miss Brooks, let me tell you what I was planning when you so fortuitously entered my office. I was planning on a general revision of expenses, an economy wave the likes of which this school has never seen. For example, you will in the future direct your pupils to use half as much chalk.
You mean no more capital letters?
Exactly. And this building, it's kept like a hothouse. I intend to cut way down on the supply of coal we're wasting.
Wasting? But...
Don't butt me, young woman.
Oh, I can't help it. I'm the goat that was picked for the job. That is, it's not a question of a lot of money, Mr. Conklin. And the temperature of the school is very important.
It certainly is. And I find it extremely comfortable for the most part. But why are you wearing your overcoat?
It's just a silly quirk of mine, Mr. Conklin. I'm trying to break up an ice jam in my arteries.
Oh, nonsense. And take off those gloves. And I wish you'd stop smoking while you're talking to me.
I'm not smoking. I'm just breathing.
Well, cut it out. That's the trouble with people nowadays. They're all mollycoddle, softies. Why, when I think of our forefathers at Valley Forge, dragging cannons through the snow with their feet wrapped in rags, it's enough to make my blood boil.
Well, it wouldn't boil in my room. Look, Mr. Conklin, if you don't care about people, think of the poor little animals in Mr. Boynton's laboratory.
What's wrong with them?
The white mice can't run around on the treadmill without snowshoes. McDougal doesn't know whether to croak, sneeze, or hiccup. So he does all 3, and it's pretty depressing.
Well, then don't listen to it.
And how about the basketball team? Walter Denton says that every time one of his substitutes goes into a game, he has to hide behind a trunk while they're changing blankets. And just think, $100 would remedy the entire situation.
$100?
Plus $200 for a new sewing machine, $50 for weather stripping my room, and $150 for warmer tanks and better equipment in the biology lab. $500 is all you have to requisition from the board, plus some added money for coal. And if you'll sharpen the sword, I'll fall on it on my way out.
Miss Brooks, I'm going to try to control myself. I'm going to walk over to that window and look out of it. A moment later, I'm going to turn around, and you will have gone quietly out of the door. That's better. $500 indeed.
Plus coal.
Get out!
cafeteria was pretty crowded today. Young Denton here invited us to share his table.
Sure, sit down, Miss Brooks. Want me to get you a tray?
Thanks, Walter, but I haven't time to eat right now. I just left Mr. Conklin's office, and he's flatly refused to requisition a penny from the school board.
But the temperature, my animals, McDougal's toes are frostbitten now.
And how about my basketball team? We got a very important home game on tomorrow night, and that gym is just icy. Oh, we got to do something, Miss Brooks. We just got to get some more coal into this building.
Well, maybe we could start an airlift. No, I guess not. Wait a minute. The only way to make Mr. Conklin see the necessity of improving the coal situation is to pretend we're all coming down with colds.
You mean go into his office sneezing and coughing and all?
Exactly. He won't dare face a school board investigation if he thinks an epidemic is starting. Besides, I happen to know he's quite a hypochondriac when it comes to contagious germs.
But if we really don't have colds, it'd be lying to say we have, wouldn't it?
It's a white lie for the common good, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, but you know what happens to me when I tell a falsehood. I have a psychosomatic symptom that causes me to hiccup.
Well, we'll have to take that chance. Think of McDougal, Mr. Boynton, and those blue goldfish swimming around depending on you to do something.
I'll do it, Miss Brooks. I'll be darned if I don't. Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, forget it, Mr. Boynton. In a crisis like this, even I resort to profanity. Oh, fudge.
Come in. Mr. Conklin, I got a bad cold.
What?
It's in by Doze and Ed, mostly.
Sure. Turn around, Boynton. Don't you know those germs travel? How long have you had this cold?
Oh, for a long time.
You caught something from that wretched frog of yours. Now go take some aspirin, go home early, do something, but get out of this office at once.
But, Mr. Conklin, if my laboratory was a little bit warmer...
I'll talk to you after you've recovered, Boynton.
Fine, Mr. Conklin. Thank you, sir.
Better open the window and clear the air in this room. That's better. Come in.
It's me, Mr. Conklin. Water deaded.
What do you want, Denton?
As manager of the basketball team, I'd like to request a warmer gym.
A what?
A warmer gym to play in. It's freezing in there. I got a cold.
You too? Well, cover your face when you sneeze.
We got a very important game to play tomorrow, and we need some heat badly.
Heat? Well, if you've got such a bad cold, Denton, you'd better not come round to the game tomorrow.
What?
I'll be there, and I'll appoint another manager.
But I'm not that sick, Mr. Conklin. Gosh, I feel great.
I
think I know what you mean, Denton. This is all a scheme to get me to ask the board for more money. And I think I know who put you up to it, too.
She did not. Oh, that is...
Come in, Miss Brooks.
How did you know it was me, Mr. Conklin?
I heard you rehearsing your sneeze.
You look great, Miss Brooks. Never saw you looking better.
Thank you, Walter.
You couldn't possibly have a cold or anything the way you look. Know what I mean?
Keep talking, Denton. I don't mind.
Why, what's the matter with you, Walter? I've a terrible cold in my chest and my head. It's from my room, Mr. Conklin.
Mr. Conklin, if that is the stream, you sure do a funny imitation of a person with a cold, Miss Brooks.
What do you mean, imitation?
Sure. Everybody knows you're just fooling.
Among my own pupils. A stool pigeon.
I knew this was all a plot, Miss Brooks, and I'm ashamed of you. Why, just because there's a little fresh air circulating through the school. Good fresh air. You throw a fit. Our forefathers should see you now. Those men at Valley Forge dragging the cannon through the snow with rags tied around their feet. Why, when I think of those...
The door was open, so I just came on in, Daddy.
What is it, Harriet?
I talked to Mother on the phone a little while ago, and her back's bothering her a bit. She'd like the heating pad.
What heating pad?
The one you've got under the cushion you're sitting on. Here's the plug back here. Now, if you'll just get up a minute. There we are. I'll take it home to Mother right away.
Where in the world did that thing come from?
From Valley Forge, of course. The boys must have got some hot rags for their feet. Well, Mr. Conklin recommended the necessary expenditures to the school board and personally ordered some coal immediately. I thought it was a very sportsmanlike and unselfish gesture, and I started to tell him so when I met him in the hall. Mr. Conklin, I think it was very nice of you to tackle this problem so promptly.
Thanks, Miss Brooks. But I wasn't prompt enough. I'm getting pneumonia.
Oh, what's the difference, Mr. Conklin? As long as you've got your health.
A pack of Avalon cigarettes, please.
Yes, sir. Oh, just a moment, sir. Don't forget your change. You'd never guess that Avalon's cost you less.
So why not always travel on with Avalon?
Good evening, friends. Good evening. This is Del King saying welcome to Avalon Time with Red Foley, Jeanette, Edna Stillwell, the Avalon Chorus, Bob Strong and his orchestra, and Red Skelton. The orchestra opens the program with Don't Look Now. Ladies and gentlemen, Avalons are the newest and most important recent development in cigarette history. They're quality cigarettes that sell for less, 3 to 5 cents less than other popular price brands. And 3 to 5 cents saved on every pack of cigarettes you smoke really means something. Take it from me. It means many, many extra dollars in your pocket every year. But without knowing it, you'd never guess that Avalons cost you less. The quality of the Turkish and domestic tobaccos blended in union-made Avalons cannot be surpassed by any other cigarette, regardless of price, regardless of brand. For cigarette value never known before, try Avalon. Why not make it tonight? And now we bring you the only man in radio who hangs around the Navy Pier so he can get jokes by the gods, Red Skelton.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, Del, speaking of sailors, I took my first cruise last week on the SS Panhandler. Just a tramp steamer. But the boat was nice, though. It was very particular who rode on it. In fact, it was so particular they wouldn't take anything but registered cattle. But it was really a nice boat. Everything aboard was shipshape. In fact, the girls aboard were shipshape. My uncle... What happened? My uncle used to be a well-known sea captain. In fact, even the finance company calls him the old skipper. You know, it's the first time I ever rode on a boat, but it was like being on a train. I rode the rail all the way. The captain looked at me and he says, my good man, you have a weak stomach. At a time like that, he wanted distance. Boy, what a captain, don't you? The captain wanted me to eat at his table, but I refused. Why should I pay for a first-class ticket and then eat with a help? Oh, what a screwy captain, though. He yelled, all hands on deck. I put my hands on deck and everybody stepped on them. Our first stop was a little island where a lot of native boys were diving in the water for pennies. Of course, I didn't get much out of that. Maybe 5 or 6 cents. But you meet a lot of strange people aboard. There was one lady, a fat lady, with a homebody, built like a house. She spent the whole night walking around the deck trying to reduce. Well, I guess you read someplace about those hips that passed in the night. But you know, I'm really lucky to be here. There was a terrible storm blew up the third day, and everybody thought the boat was going to sink, and the captain started yelling, "Save the women and children first." Well, you know, it was disgusting the way some of the men tried to get in those lifeboats. No kidding. One guy nearly tore my dress off of me. Well, I think I've been out here sailing around long enough, so I'll pull into shore. And, see, I even read the blotches on the paper. That's marvelous. I'll let the Speedboat Strong take over with Begin the Beguine. Hit it, sailor, but salty. Bob Strong and the orchestra playing Begin the Beguine. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Strong is the only conductor that doesn't lead the band with a baton. He just waves his hair.
Oh, say, Skelton, I noticed you have on a new suit tonight.
Yeah, I was down in the dumps today, and I always buy a new suit when I'm down in the dumps.
I was wondering where you bought your suit, Skelton.
What'd you say, Del?
That was Roger, the fiddle player in the band.
Oh, little slur echo, eh? Why, that guy's not even a fiddle player. I'll bet I'm more at home with a violin than he is.
Not on the radio, Skelton. No. On the radio, you'd be more at home with bows.
Okay, Major.
And you better not get caught in the rain with that suit.
Look, I ain't worried about the rain. This is a good suit.
Maybe you think so, but confidentially, it shrinks.
What's that?
Is that the telephone bell?
It ain't Jimmy Fiddler. I'll take that. Hello. Avalon cigarette program, Red Skelton speaking. Can't even say my own name.
Hello, Skelton.
Yes.
This is Sergeant Branning at our police headquarters.
Huh?
We've been hearing a lot about you, Skelton.
Well, you can't prove anything. Now, look, I won't talk until I get a mouthful. A mouthpiece.
What we want to get you for is the policeman's ball.
I didn't take the policeman's ball. Honest, I didn't.
There's the wisecracking. We want you to come over and entertain at the policeman's annual ball.
Oh, the ball. Oh, the policeman's ball. Oh, sure. Listen, I'll bring the whole gang over. Can you send a couple of squad cars over to pick us up?
No, but I think the chief might send over the paddy wagon.
The paddy wagon? You want me to come over and entertain at the policeman's ball? He's going to send a patrol wagon for me to ride in? Red Skelton riding a wagon that they haul criminals around in? Tell him okay. Tell him to send wagon number 2. The springs are better.
That I will. Say, Skelton, do you know where Fred Allen lives?
Well, yes, I know where Fred Allen lives. Why?
Well, if you can get him, you don't have to bother coming over.
Oh, I'll be there. Don't worry. Hey, Dan, come on. Hey, Bob Strong, get the boys together. We're going over to the policeman's ball. Okay, Skelton. What music shall I take? Rhapsody in Blue Coat? No, and don't take Flatfoot Flugie either.
Hello, Mr. Skelton.
Hello, Edna. Say, boy, me going to a policeman's ball. You know, I'm getting to be a big shot.
How would you like to be as important as I am?
Why, are you important, Edna?
I'll say. You know, next week the president and his wife are going to visit the San Francisco World Fair.
Well, how does that make you important, Edna?
Why, Mrs. Roosevelt's going to write and tell me all about it.
My word.
No, my day.
Some connection. Say, where's Red Foley?
He's over there rehearsing his lines for that Western picture he's going to make.
Yeah? Let's sneak over and listen to what he's saying.
Why, killing's too good for you, pies and teeth. Why, you on the critter have a good
Hey,
notion.
Foley.
Quiet, tenderfoot, I'll drill you like it was an oil well.
You wouldn't dare.
Hey, listen, tender.
Oh, I said that.
I forgot myself. Hey, what do you want?
Well, look, we're going over the policeman's ball. Now, you're not such a bad hombre that you're afraid of the cops, are you?
Oh, don't worry about me, Skelton. Nobody's been able to pin anything on me since I was a baby.
Well, not bad, Jackson. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Benny? No, I'm Red Skelton.
Say, how many miles is it to Waukegan?
Oh, there's a guy that's really been knocking around the country. I hope he don't get into Yankee Stadium and start rapping on Joe Louis.
By the way, Red, I got your tickets for the Louis Galento fight.
Oh, they good?
Yeah, the best I could do, though, was the 2 seats in the 4th row.
Well, that's swell. 2 seats in the 4th row at the Yankee Stadium.
These seats are in the 4th row of a 5th Avenue bus.
Yeah. 5th Avenue bus? I can't see the Louis and Galento fight from there.
Well, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah, what do you
They're
mean?
going to drive up in front of the Yankee Stadium, ring a bell, and knock over a beer barrel.
Say, you know, if I happen to think I'm going to the fight, I better cancel my lesson in public speaking today.
Are you taking lessons in public speaking?
Yeah, I've been muffing too many words lately, so I'm taking a course in public speaking. And you know, when I get finished, you know what I'll be?
Sure. Public loudmouth number 1.
Now listen, wise guy, I'll be a great orator.
Say, you don't even know what an orator is, Captain.
No, I do too. An orator is a guy who's willing to lay down your life for somebody else's country. Say, come on, let's all of us get going over the policeman's ball. What are you going to sing, Jeanette?
Just a minute, just a minute.
Say, who are you?
I'm Professor Tommy Mack, your voice instructor.
My voice instructor? Do you always talk that way?
No, only when I speak.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your lesson?
Yeah, I need somebody to teach me how to read a script.
I'll tell you, Joe. Last week it was positively disgusting the way you tripped over your twist.
Yeah, all I need is a few more months and I'll be in the fur business.
Now, the first thing you must concentrate on is enunciation, pronunciation, and diction.
Boy, what that guy couldn't do with the any penny fishes.
Oh, a wise guy, huh?
Don't pay any attention to him. That's Roger, the fiddle player.
Now, I just want to see how you control your breath.
Yeah.
Now, let's see you pant like this.
Okay. How's that?
No good, your pants are too short.
Look, most of my trouble comes from not knowing where to place my tongue.
Well, the tongue should be plain, but it should be placed between 2 pieces of bread. Oh, you mean the tongue in your mouth? If I see, so. Now, open up your mouth, please. Well, the teeth are okay.
Yeah. The teeth? What are teeth?
Teeth is short for tooth. Many tooths make teeth. Teeth is not for tooth. Without teeth, you can't eat. Any dope knows what teeth is.
You ought to know, Professor.
What's the matter with that guy? He's doing something. He's better not run into my...
Don't pay no attention to him. Listen, Professor, you better hurry and give him my first lesson. I've got to get over the policeman's ball.
Okay, now the first thing you do is you strengthen the muscles of the toes by pinning on the bar.
Will the bartender object?
Oh, you're stupid, too, huh? Well, I think we better learn how to recite.
Recite?
Yes, so follow me. Hi, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. People trying to make a dope out of you. I diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow and jumped out. Oh, I'm all mixed up myself. I diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon.
The little dog laughed.
The little dog laughed. You think that's fun?
Say, where did you get that goon?
What am I, that guy punched right into my side?
Now, wait a minute, Professor. Now, don't get excited, Professor. Hey, wait a minute, Professor. You better come back and finish my list. Say, he's got a heavenly voice, hasn't he? That's the first time I ever knew, though, that heaven could speak. Sing it, Jeanette. We got to go to the ball.
I never knew heaven could speak, but now I do. I learned it through a conversation with you. I never knew heaven could dance, but now I do. With every step, another little dream comes true. I always thought heaven was somewhere way up high in the sky up above. I never thought heaven was someone like you for me to love. I never knew heaven could hold such tender charm. I never knew heaven could be here in my arms. I always thought heaven was somewhere way up high in the sky up above. I never thought heaven was someone like you for me to love. I never knew heaven could hold such tender charm. I never knew heaven could be here in my arms.
Friends, wherever you go, you'll find tobacco dealers selling more and more Avalon cigarettes. And you want to know the reason? Well, I'll tell you. Because Avalons have that national appeal of highest quality plus real money-saving economy. Two all-important points of superiority that smart buyers immediately recognize and take advantage of. Avalons are positively second to none in quality. They're union-made from the very finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos. And still, they cost 3 to 5 cents less per pack than other popular price brands. Now imagine, 3 to 5 cents less for cigarettes that can't be taught. Ladies and gentlemen, cash in on this, the biggest cigarette money-saving opportunity of the day. So the next time, ask for Avalon. You'd never guess they cost you less. We now take you to the policeman's ball where we find Red Skelton dancing with Edna Stillwell on the crowded dance floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Edna.
Oh, that's all right. You know, Red, I dreamt I was dancing with you last night.
You did?
Yeah. When I woke up, my little brother was pounding my feet with a flat iron.
Say, let's try some of that jitterbug stuff. Come on, let's jive, baby. Let's get on the old boogaloo. Hot dog, get that stuff. Uh-oh, there's a cop. Don't give your right name.
Come on, pull over. Pull over at the car there, you.
What's the matter, officer?
Can't you see that sign there? No heavy trucking on the outer driveway.
No heavy trucking on the outer driveway. That's what is known as corn off of the cop. Well, okay, officer, we won't let it happen again. You can look at the policeman, isn't it? Most cops I've seen since the last nursemaid picnic. Say, look at the dirty look those bulls are giving me. Why don't you guys look at somebody else for a change? Well, look who's here. Are you a policeman?
Well, I ain't friends. You are the mountain.
Thank you, he's a policeman.
Yes, Mr. Skelton, I'm just dying to get my hooks on some crooks.
Yeah?
Why, I've got a gun and handcuffs.
Yeah.
Why, just take a look at these snarky-looking bracelets.
Say, there's some bracelets, all right. Don't you think they look more business-like, though, if they didn't have those rhinestones in them?
What kind of a policeman are you, Herky?
Well, you see, it's like this, Miss Stillwell. When I first joined the force, I went to the mounted police headquarters and said, "Give me a man a horse he can ride."
Yeah?
I wasn't the man. So they made me a patrol. Then I complained about patrolling the streets because it made my feet spread. Now I sit in a radio car all day, and I'm saying it's just something till I'm
Have you done any dancing yet, Herky?
Oh, shucks, Mr. Skelton, I can't dance.
You can't?
Because when I dance, I exert myself. And when I exert myself, I glow.
Well, when you gotta glow, you gotta glow. Well, you know, you can always get out of your wet clothes and do a dry martini.
Oh, Mr. Skelton, my goodness, I hope you don't ever use anything like that on your program.
I wouldn't dare.
Well, I gotta go now. You see, I'm just a rookie, and tonight they're making me scrub the jail floors.
Yeah?
So I gotta go and wash out a few things. I'll see you later.
Good old Herky. Say, it's about time for the show to start, Edna. Maybe I better get up on the stage and start throwing those bulls a little corn.
Hey, Red, you're on.
Yeah? Look, tell them to give me a fanfare, Del. Gee, I hate to go on, I'm telling you. The same thing happened last year. I'm in the vegetable business again.
Well, don't forget, this is another year.
Yeah, but don't forget, these are the same jugs. Well, there's the trumpet of doom. Oh, here goes nothing.
Say, Edna, what's Red so nervous about?
Oh, he thinks the cops don't like him.
No, they really love him.
Well, no vegetables yet.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Red, try that surefire joke about the cops.
Oh, okay, I'll give him. Say, fellas, did you ever hear the one about the policeman who raided the nudist colony? And the big headlines in the paper the following day read, "Bulls raid bears." Get somebody else to entertain you. Put that loud mouth out there. No use, Edna. Those cops will never like me. Say, you know what? I just happened to think of something. I've been entertaining here at the Policeman's Ball for the past 3 years, and every time the same thing has happened. And I just now realize why they'll never like Red Skelton.
Why not?
Why not? You know how mad bulls get when they see red.
A new distinctive interpretation of a familiar favorite. Red Foley and the Avalon Chorus sing "Roll Along, Prairie Moon."
Roll along, prairie moon, roll along while I cruise. Shine above, lamp of love, prairie moon.
Oh, shine on, prairie moon.
Way up there in the blue, maybe you're lonely too, swinging by in the sky, prairie moon.
Oh, prairie moon.
I need your tender light to make things right. You know I'm so alone tonight. For a wish can your be on the girl of my dreams. Tell her too I've been through prairie moon.
There's a wonderful light in the sky tonight, with silver the hills are spread.
And the moon seems so near that I
know it will hear every word of my love serenade. For away set your beam on the girl of my dreams. Tell her too, I've been through prairie moon. Keep it shining high, prairie moon. Prairie
Well, thanks a lot, Bob Strong, for letting us in on those famous three little words. And what I have to say are just a few words that mean money in your pocket. Friends, when you can get supreme quality in Avalons for less, why pay more? So the next time, ask for Avalon.
And don't forget your change.
Yes, Avalon cigarettes, your friends cost several cents less than others. You too can save the difference like all of us Avalon brothers. Each pack is wrapped in cellophane, each pack is union made. No wonder folks from coast to coast say Avalon's made a parade. So why not always travel on with Avalon?
Yes, you'd never guess, but Avalon's cost only 10 cents plus city or state tax.
Well, I guess that just about takes care of everything for tonight, eh, Del?
Yes, Red, that polishes it off.
Say, Del, when I get through with my course in public speaking, maybe I can tell my jokes in a cultivated voice, huh?
Sure, Skelton. Then you can give us cultivated corn.
Yeah. Oh, you can't win. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
Be with us next Saturday evening at the same time when the Brown & Williamson Tobacco Corporation will again present Avalon Time. And as our special guest star, a character you all know and love, the old-timer, featured artist on Fibber McGee and Molly's program. Del King speaking. Good night.
The selection I never knew heaven could speak performed on this program is from Rose of Washington Square. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is bread. B-R-E-A-D.
Really?
You bet your life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! Hey, that's me, Groucho Marx, the Queen of the May. well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples. George Fenneman, who's first?
We invited some girl gas station attendants and some hot rod drivers to the program. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Dorothy Donata and Don Stedman. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll split $100 in cash between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. A hot rod driver and a girl service attendant, eh? Dorothy Donata? I presume you're the girl service attendant? Eh?
Yes, I am, sir.
I thought so. You're wearing pumps, that's why. Where are you from, Dorothy?
Oh, I'm from the beer and pretzel capital of the world, Reading, Pennsylvania.
There's a drunk in the first row. And, Don Stedman, you're the hot rod driver. Where are you from? Hot Springs?
No, sir. I'm from the Sooner State, Oklahoma.
You both look like fairly new models. Don, how old are you?
22.
22. And what's your age, Dorothy?
22.
Well, you still got the original paint job, huh? Are you married, Dorothy?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Oh, I still have time yet.
So have I. Shall we dance? Why aren't you married, Don?
Well, I still got a little ways to go.
Well, if you're driving a hot rod, it won't be long before you'll get there. How do you go about building one of your highway rockets?
Well, you rebuild the front end, put in new kingpins and new shocks all the way around, and then you have to change the gears in your differential. You got to get your manifold. Some of them are running 4 pots this year.
No what?
Some of them are running 4 pots now.
Well, I've been half-potted, but I didn't know what is a pot, anyhow?
That's a carburetor.
Why didn't you call it a carburetor?
Well, that's just like building a stock car.
I see. You're too snobbish to call it. Well, what else? What else did they do?
Well, there was one fellow that put 2 front ends, one on the front, one on the back.
Well, what is the object of that? That sounds good.
Well, you'll have to admit it's different.
You seem to be more interested in freaks than you are in locomotion. Dorothy, how about some service? You've been standing there all this time, and you haven't even wiped my windshield. Tell me, what do you think of hot rodders?
Oh, I think they're swifty.
You think they're what?
Swifty.
Did you know you were swifty?
Sure, I know it.
Now, where do you attend your gas pumps, Dorothy?
The Gilmore Serve Yourself service station, Beverly Boulevard.
I see. Thought that's what you were there for. What do you mean, serve yourself?
Well, you just serve yourself. You come in and serve your own gas and wipe your own windshield and check your own oil, and then you pay me.
If I'm going to do all that, I'll put the money in my own pocket and leave, huh? You call that a service station?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose a woman drives into your station. Do you make her do all that work?
I treat the men and women alike.
Well, if you ever expect to get married, you're going to have to revise that policy. Not much, Dorothy, but some, huh? What do you girls call yourselves? I'm sure you don't refer to each other as girl gas station attendants, do you?
No, we call each other gas jockeys.
There's a whole new language sprung up. I'm completely out of touch with the outside world. Do you save hot rod drivers?
Oh, we certainly do.
Well, will you save me one the next time I come in there? Now, how much gas does the average hot rod driver buy?
Well, it all depends how much money they have in their pockets. We had one come in today that bought 3 cents worth.
Well, can he get out of the station with 3 cents worth? What do you do, drop it in his ear? John, how far can you get on 3 cents worth of gas?
Well, I've never been that cheap. Let's
assume that you were broke, not necessarily cheap. Let's say you were broke and only had 3 cents. How far would you go in your car?
Well, I bought 5 cents worth, and I got...
But you wouldn't be so cheap to buy 3 cents. What about 4 cents worth? Nothing under a nickel, huh? Okay, how far do you get on a nickel's worth of gas?
Oh, I almost got home.
You mean all the way to Oklahoma? Now, how fast can one of your hot rods travel, Don?
Well, if you push it, it should go between...
No, I mean if you're inside the car. This is with a nickel's worth of gas, I guess.
No, when I mean push it, I mean you got your foot in the carburetor.
Everything you say has another meaning. How fast did you say you could go?
Well, most of them are... I won't say if they push it. Most of them...
You can say it again if you want. I'm inured to everything now.
If you push it, they go from between 120 to 160.
Mm-hmm. Well, where do you drive 150 miles an hour? And where are you going? And what's your hurry?
Well, we're racing against the clock at Lake El Mirage.
Does the clock run alongside of you?
No, I mean, we're racing against time.
Oh, time. Right?
Well,
he's kind of cute at that, isn't he? Dorothy, do you like him?
Sure I do. Very much.
Well, I like him too, Dorothy. John, you'll have to choose between us. I'm not going to do very well, I can tell you. Dorothy, I think you'd be perfectly safe going on a ride with Don here. After all, at 150 miles an hour, he has to keep both hands on the steering wheel. Isn't that right, Don?
No, not necessarily.
Well, if the girl you take out isn't an angel, she will be by the time you get back. When you see me crossing the street, all I ask is just stop and wait for about 20 minutes, huh? Until I'm safely on the other side. How carefully do you drive, Don?
Well, most of the guys that drive roadsters are, 90% of them are very careful. They take pride in their cars and they drive them safe, and mechanically they are A1. We're now trying to get them off the streets from racing by driving it, having the races up at El Mirage, and they're racing against time only, and the cars are in perfect condition, and that's about it.
Well, my advice for you is to take your car into your nearest DeSoto Plymouth dealer. As a matter of fact, I think during the last war it was proven that many of the best airplane pilots were kids who had been driving hot rods. Well, only let me know when you're coming down my street, will you? Now that we've discussed the hot rod situation, let's see how well you two make out in the quiz. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play your Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question.
The best in service at a fair price. That's what the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America offer you when you take your car to any of them for service, no matter what make of car you drive. These DeSoto Plymouth dealers believe in giving every customer a fair deal. This fair deal consists of expert mechanics working with the best tools and equipment to give you an efficient job every time. Also, a desire on the part of every dealer to treat you courteously and to charge you a fair price. It's easy to see. A DeSoto Plymouth dealer wants you for a steady and satisfied customer. So next time your car needs attention, Won't you stop in at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer? And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,500. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected songs by Rodgers and Hart as your category, right? Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
10.
Now, what is the title of this song? Play, Jerry. What is it? Blue Moon is right.
And they're on their way with $30.
And how much of the 30 will you bet?
15.
$15. What is the title of this one?
I can't remember Where or When.
Where or When is correct.
They're starting Groucho. They have $45.
All right, you got $45. Here's your third question. How much of the 45?
$40.
$40. Give me the title of this one. Okay, Jerry.
This Can't Be Love.
This Can't Be Love is correct.
They're really fighting now. They have $85.
All right, you're right back in that hot rod now. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 85?
$70.
$70. Let's see if you can identify this song.
And then My Heart Stood Still.
My Heart Stood Still is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $155.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Stick around now. You may get the chance at the big question.
Groucho, the secret word is still bread.
I know that, George.
Well, perhaps the next couple will say it.
I know that, too.
We invited some tax assessors to the show, and
I didn't know that.
Oh. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected one of them, Mrs. Helen Carr. Her partner, Mr. Bill Redding, is a married man from the audience. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, and if you say the secret word, you'll split $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you see every day. A tax assessor, eh? That's you, Mr. Reddick?
No, I'm a hotel clerk.
I thought you said you were a tax assessor.
No, you just said that.
Oh, is that where I heard it, huh? Then you're a tax assessor, Mrs. Helen Carr?
Yes, I am.
How long have you two been married?
I'm not married to him. No.
Well, don't come running to me with your trouble. Aren't you ashamed, Mr. Reddick? Breaking up a happy home like hers?
No, I just met her a few minutes ago.
Fast worker, eh? Where are you from, you rascal, you? Mr. Reddick, where are you from?
Well, I'm from College View or Peanut Hill, Nebraska. That's a suburb just outside of Lincoln.
I didn't know Lincoln had any suburbs. And where are you from, Mrs. Carr?
Originally Boone, Iowa.
Boone, is that named after Daniel Boone? Boone?
Yes, it is.
Named after Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Do you know what he was famous for?
Well, no, I don't. He had a coonskin cap.
There's a man spent his whole life as a hero, and he wound up being identified as a fellow who wore a coonskin cap. When I die, I'll be known as an old mustache, I suppose. How long have you been married, Mr. Reddick?
Oh, about 31 or 32 years.
Mm-hmm. How did you meet this poor misled wife of yours?
Well, at the time I was a night clerk, and I had an Excelsior motorcycle. This particular morning, while I was rushing home, and just as I scooted around the corner, while she was stooping over to set down a pail of garbage.
It's a very romantic meeting.
I landed up, mixed up with the garbage and with an injured knee, And it took me about 2 weeks before I was able to ride the motorcycle again. And during that intermission, why, she used to come around and sit on the front porch.
That's known as a Freudian slip. I used to know a girl who wore one of those. Now, Mrs. Carr, isn't it unusual for a woman to be a tax assessor?
Oh, no. 6 out of 7 of us are women.
What is the other one, a giraffe? Now, as a tax deputy, what are your duties?
I go around the county door to door taking statements for personal property.
Just what is personal property? Huh?
Personal property is anything you own or use.
That's the broadest statement I ever heard. You mean I have to pay a tax on my neighbor's shower?
No, not.
Well, I use it all the time. Now, Mrs. Carr, pretend I'm a housewife and you're making a routine call. Now, go ahead and ask me the usual questions.
So, good morning. I want to take your statement. Do you have any real estate?
I have a 50-foot lot. Continue.
How deep is it?
It's about 30 feet deep. That's only at high tide. Go on.
Do you own any personal property?
Furniture? Yeah, all the furniture in my living room is new. We got it by sending in soap coupons.
Well, what do you have in the other rooms?
I have 3 million bars of soap. Well, I can't clean that time. Well, now that I know all about tax assessments, let's see how well you two are going to make out with You Bet Your Life. Now, you run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get a chance at the $1,500 DeSoto Plymouth question. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The hot rod driver and the girl gas attendant earned $155.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can bill you $20. You selected pictures on paper money as your category. Is that right?
That's correct.
Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
$10.
$10. Whose picture's on the $5 bill?
That's Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln. You knew that from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Got off to a good start with $30.
Well, you got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you bet?
We'll bet the whole 30.
The whole 30. Whose picture is on the $20 bill?
That's Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson is right.
Now they have $60.
Well, you're really gamblers. Now you got $60. Here's your third question. How much of the 60?
We bet the 60.
You're going to bet the 60. Whose picture is on the $10 bill?
That's Alexander Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton.
They're really climbing now, Groucho. They have $120.
Got $120. How much of the 120 are you going to pay? You're going to bet.
120.
You're going to bet the whole works, huh? Whose picture is on the $1 bill?
George Washington.
George Washington.
And they wind up with a grand total of $240.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, we'll soon know who gets the chance at the $1,500 question.
You know, friends, when you're out driving on a long automobile trip, keep in mind that there are more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Fenneman, don't you know when a person's driving a car, he's supposed to keep his mind on the road?
Well, then, folks, when you're at home, thinking about that trip in your car, remember there's a DeSoto Plymouth dealer near you.
I can practically feel his hot breath on my spare tire.
That's just the warmer weather ahead, Groucho. And it's just one more reason why you should drive in to a DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Touché, Fenneman. Now let's get back to You Bet Your Life. Who's ahead?
Well, the tax assessor and the married man are leading with $240. And the secret word is still bread. We invited some game wardens and some commercial fishermen to the program tonight. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Warden Walter Shannon and fisherman Vince Devlahovich. And here they are. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, boys, to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 in cash between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. A commercial fisherman and a game warden, eh? What is your name?
Devlahovich.
Devlahovich, huh? What is that, Russian?
No, that's Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia, huh? Are you from Yugoslavia?
I was born here, San Pedro.
Are you a skipper or a member of the crew?
I'm a skipper.
A skipper, huh? Could you skip around for me here? Did you ever wear a skipperelli gown or a hat or anything? You'd think they'd pay to come in, wouldn't you? You're the game warden, Mr. Shannon?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me, Warden, this sounds like old times. Can we call you? Warden, what are your principal duties?
Our principal duties are to watch people who are hunting and fishing.
Oh, a television fan, eh? Or as we say in the business, TV. That means terrible vaudeville, huh? Ah, there are still diehards that listen to radio. Why do you watch people fishing and hunting? Haven't you got anything better to do, Mr. Shannon?
To see if they violate the fish and game laws.
Well, can't they violate it without you watching them? What kind of laws do they violate?
They catch and hunt out of season, catch fish out of season. Sometimes shoot females.
What kind of females?
Such as does, deer.
Does females, you mean? What do you mean by does females?
And the deer, does females are called.
What about them females? Or dumb females? That's even more accurate, eh? Now, Warden, what gives you the most trouble on your job?
As a rule, people hunting and fishing out of season.
Mm-hmm. Now, when is the deer season?
In the southern part of the state, here it runs from about August 7th to October 15th.
Well, how can the deer tell when it's open season?
Well, I suppose by the bullets whizzing by.
I guess that's true, huh? And they know for sure when they see the hunters dropping like flies, too. Now, mackerel bait, around here, where is the best place to catch sardines?
In the ocean.
No, what I meant was, in what part of the ocean do you catch sardines?
Well, offshore of San Diego up to Santa Barbara City.
What kind of fish do you catch?
Mostly sardines and tuna.
Now, how much do you get for your tuna?
Well, the yellowfin tuna, you get $310 a ton. When we get a load of tuna, which is 90 ton, we split the money. The crew gets 65% of the share, and the boat gets 35%.
The boat walks up and asks for it? Anything unusual ever happen to you when you're off on one of these fishing trips?
Well, yes. A couple of months ago, we were pinched by the game warden for...
Where did he pinch you?
Well, we were supposed to be fishing in Santa Monica Bay, but...
What happened?
Well, we paid a fine. Each crew member paid $25 fine.
And the boat pays part of it, too?
Yes.
The boat walks right down to the police station? That's a very intelligent boat, you know that? I don't know what you need a crew for at all. Well, I know all about fishing and hunting. Now, let's see how well you two make out in the battle for the $1,500 question. You beat the other two couples and you win the chance at all that money. I can't tell you how much our first couples won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The tax assessor and the married man are ahead with $240.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected national parks as your category. Is that right? All right. Now talk right up into the microphone. How much of the $20 you're going to try?
$10.
$10. In what state is Hot Springs National Park?
Arkansas.
Arkansas is right.
All right, Groucho, with $30.
All right, remember you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
25.
25. In what state is the Everglades National Park?
Florida.
Florida is correct.
Now they have $55.
$55. Here's your third question. How much of the 55?
50.
50. In what state is Zion National Park?
Utah.
Utah is right.
Now they have $105.
Now you got $105. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 105?
100.
It's okay with me.
100.
Okay. In what state is Mammoth Caves National Park?
Kentucky.
Kentucky is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $205. And that means the tax assessor and the married man with $240 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. Is your car ready for the warmer weather? If not, why not stop in now at a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's? To put your car in tip-top condition, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer will give it an engine tune-up. This should be done to prepare your car for the warmer weather ahead. So be sure to stop in at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer first chance you get. No matter which of the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers you visit for that check tune-up, you can be sure of getting efficient, courteous service at a fair price wherever you see the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here is the tax assessor and the married man, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question, Groucho.
Here we go for $1,500. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please, no help from the audience. Here it is. The Pony Express took 9 days to travel from St. Joseph, Missouri to the Western Terminal. For $1,500, what was the western end of the Pony Express run? What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Salt Lake.
I'm sorry. It's Sacramento, California. So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $240 in the quiz. Congratulations and thanks to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week, the big question will be worth $2,000.
Well, Bing Crosby's champing at the bit, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. Two of the most important rules of the road are courtesy and common sense. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
It's amazing. It's Prell, P-R-E-L-L, Procter & Gamble's new Radiant Cream Shampoo in the handy tube. Prell brings you The Life of Riley. Prell The shampoo that removes unsightly dandruff in as little as 3 minutes and leaves hair radiantly clean, radiantly lovely, presents The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. Tonight, we turn the clock back to December 1941, a fateful year when the Japs swooped down on Pearl Harbor. And Baxter Turnbull, Mrs. Riley's smooth, suave, and slightly shifty uncle, swooped down on the Riley household.
Uncle Baxter. Hail, nephew. Oh, don't move. Pray let these old eyes of mine feast upon you.
Uh-huh. You came to eat off me again.
Nay, I come but for a brief and fleeting moment. The Japanese have sullied my country's flag. I go to join the regiment. A jeep will call for me within the hour.
Oh. Well, Uncle Baxter, until the jeep comes, this is your home.
1943. For 2 years, the war has raged.
Uncle Baxter, when is that jeep coming to pick you up?
Patience, me boy. Ike is saving me for the big push. Now, don't disturb me, Riley. I'm trying to decide where to open the second front. The Balkans, Italy, France. Egad, I must decide upon my jumping-off place.
Please, Baxter, please, make it from this house.
1945, D-Day, and at long last, after 4 anguished years, the war is over.
Riley, great news. My jeep has arrived. I go to join my regiment. Farewell.
Goodbye, Baxter. It's about time you went.
There, nephew. Courage. I am but a simple soldier. Ours not to reason why. Ours but to do or die.
But the war is over.
Yes, but the occupation, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll be great at that. You've had wonderful training occupying this house for 4 years.
I leave your bed and board, dear nephew, but I echo the battle cry of General Douglas MacArthur.
What's that?
I shall return.
And now, back to the present, 1948.
Mother, did the telegram say what time Uncle Baxter's coming? No, but he should be here sometime today.
Boy, I'll bet he'll have plenty to tell us. 3 years with General MacArthur.
Hey, I'm home.
Oh, there's Pop. Hey, Pop, guess who's coming?
Junior, better let me tell your father.
Yeah, well, what's all the excitement?
Oh, you'll never guess.
Babs, you got the scholarship from Peabody College. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, no, it's not that. I didn't hear from them yet.
Well, what's holding things up? The principal recommended you, didn't he?
Well, yes, he did. Don't worry, Daddy. I'll get that scholarship.
Oh, I hope so. Just think, Babs, you'll be the first one in the family ever to go to college.
Well, no, she won't. Mom's Uncle Baxter went to college.
Junior, I've warned you never to mention them 2 words. Uncle Baxter. No son of mine is going to use foul language.
Now, Riley, stop saying mean things about Uncle Baxter. Well, only this morning you were saying what the world needs is more love.
Well, you're right, Dumplin'. Tell you the truth, I really love your Uncle Baxter. And I get such a nice, warm feeling when I think of him. 4,000 miles away in Japan.
You do? Well, in
now,
that
let's
case,
talk about something else. Junior, what were you yelling about when I came in?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Well, now, don't get excited, dear, but we're going to have a house guest.
A house guest? Well, fine. You know me. I always make a stranger feel right at home. Who's coming?
Well, it's not a stranger. It's a relative.
Well, so what? Your relatives are my relatives. And they're welcome to stay here as long as they like. For a day or 2. Who's coming?
Well, it might be for a little longer.
Well, that's okay with me. Let them stay as long as they want. And if that Uncle Baxter of yours ever shows up from Japan, there won't be any room, so we'll have a good excuse to keep him out. Well, sure, it's a perfect setup. What's the matter? Why is everybody... Baxter's back. Baxter's back. Lock the doors.
Now, Riley, please. Don't be like that. Now, after all, Uncle Baxter's been away for 3 years, and he is my only uncle. And
He's a leech.
How can you talk like that, Daddy? Remember that time when you were so sick? You had to have a transfusion and Uncle Baxter gave you a pint of his blood?
Don't remind me. Ever since I got his blood in my veins, I don't have to swat mosquitoes anymore. They just bite me and drop dead. Peg, I won't stand for it. I won't have him coming here.
Hey, maybe that... Yeah, it's Uncle Baxter.
Listen to him, running up our electric bill.
Home is the warrior, home from the war.
Oh, Uncle Baxter.
Peg, my dear niece, Barbara, my lovely child, Julia, and Riley, my beloved nephew.
Now listen, Baxter, let's get one thing straight.
Riley! What the world needs is love.
Oh, all right. Welcome back, Uncle Baxter.
Thank you, Riley. Thank you for those heartwarming words. I've kept faith with you. Like MacArthur, I said, I shall return.
Yeah, but why did you have to return ahead of MacArthur? Oh, where can that suit be? A suit can't just disappear. It's got...
something, have you, Riley?
Oh, well, what are you doing up, Baxter? It's only noontime.
My blasted insomnia.
I'm looking for my new suit. Have you seen it anywhere?
Or was it a midnight blue worsted, single-breasted?
Yeah, that's right. Just like the one you're wearing.
Yeah.
I wonder where it could have... Baxter, get out of my suit. You...
Be serene, Riley. Count your blessings. Oh. Surely you don't begrudge a poor old veteran one of your cast-off suits.
Cast off? It's brand new. I ain't even cast it on yet. Take it off, you chiseler, and let me tell you something.
Oh, by the way, nephew, my trunks arrived this morning.
Yeah, well, don't bother unpacking. You ain't staying.
Of course. I merely opened one trunk to remove the gift I brought you from China.
I don't care if you... Oh, gift?
Yes. Here, lad, with my blessings. A rare old Chinese coin dating back to the Ming Dynasty.
Oh, thanks, Uncle Baxter.
Truly a priceless treasure. Only two are in existence. General MacArthur has the other.
No kidding.
Yes. Yes, I got this one from an old friend. I didn't want to take it, of course, but Chang insisted.
Chang? Chang Kai-shek?
Yes, my bosom crony. Many an hour Chang and I have sat playing Chinese checkers.
Oh, gee. Well, thanks, Uncle Baxter.
Well, not at all, dear boy, not at all. Dear me, it's nigh under 1 o'clock. I must break my fast. I haven't eaten since lunch.
Well, sure. Go ahead, Uncle Baxter. I hid the turkey in the broom closet.
See you anon, dear boy.
Good old Uncle Baxter. He's really a sweet guy. I bet this coin is worth at least...
Riley, were you scrapping with Uncle Baxter again? Well, I can hear you...
No, Dumplin'. I was just thanking him. Gee, he's a sweet guy. Look what he gave me. This rare old Chinese coin here.
Oh, really? Oh, let me see.
Yeah.
Say, Pop, where did you put the morning paper?
What?
Oh, you've got one of those coins, too.
Yeah, MacArthur has the other one. There's only 2 in the whole world.
What? Somebody's kidding you, Pop. That's the Charlie Chan secret message coin. Well, sure, Pop. You win them down to Penny Arcade in the Iron Claw machine. Well, look, I got 12 of them.
Well, better sit down, dear. The blood's rushing to your face.
That's Baxter's blood. Just like this coin, counterfeit.
Oh, now, dear.
I should have known better than to. Peg, that locust has got to go.
Well, there you are, dear niece.
You're leaving, Baxter, and you're taking your rare coins with you. You and your mink dinosaurs. You win them down at the Penny Arcade in the Iron Claw machine.
So that's where Chang got it. Darn clever, these Chinese.
Start packing, you vitamin vulture.
Daddy, I got it. Oh, the scholarship badge. Yes, the principal just told me.
You mean it's really set beds?
All except the interview.
Oh, what interview?
Well, the dean, Mrs. Whittaker's going to drop in day after tomorrow and meet me and you and Daddy. You know, it's just a formality.
Oh, yeah, nothing to it.
Hold on. I'm a little more familiar with the academic point of view than you are, Riley. Remember, I'm a former Rhodes Scholar.
Rhodes Scholar. New name for a hitchhiker.
Now, the dean of Peabody Academy isn't coming here to pass the time of day. She desires to appraise Barbara's cultural environment. The dean will naturally be concerned with the question of family background and breeding.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the Riley breeding, is there?
Well,
What do you mean, well? There's nothing wrong with Babs, is there?
No, you're on solid ground.
Nothing
there.
wrong with Junior, is there?
No.
Nothing wrong with Peg?
No, you're still on solid ground.
Well, the only other member of the family is...
Uh-huh, we've hit a mushy spot.
Just what do you mean by that?
Why, what's wrong with Riley? He's a good citizen, a hard worker. He supports his family.
Oh, yes, Peg. Of course, he's salt of the earth and all that, but, well, it's a matter of background. And when this Miss Whittaker comes here...
Bring on, Mrs. Whittaker. I'll match my background against hers any day. And who are you to talk about
Now,
background?
dear, that's enough.
You're a phony, Baxter, 100% phony. It's written all over your face. F-O-N-E-Y, phony.
Now, Riley, you stop.
And you're a chiseler and a four-flusher and a faker.
Riley, the last man who called me that lies in an unmarked grave in the Sahara.
Oh, yeah?
However, the war has softened me. But this insult has left its mark. I am leaving.
I'll help you pack.
Let me finish. I am leaving as soon as I've seen Barbara safely through 4 years of college.
What a revolting development this is.
We'll hear the second act of The Life of Riley in a moment.
Oh, Ken, the star of shampoos is Prell, Procter & Gamble's new Radiant Cream Shampoo in the handy tube.
Right. Prell is tops for 2 reasons.
First, there's a glamorous air about Prell washed hair, because Prell can't leave a dulling soap film. Prell leaves hair far more radiant than old-fashioned soap or soap shampoos. Radiantly soft, radiantly smooth, easy to manage, too.
Second, Prell removes unglamorous dandruff quickly. Examinations by a group of doctors proved it.
And that handy Prell tube, so easy to use. No messy jars, no slippery bottles.
A little goes far. So for hair that's radiantly clean, radiantly beautiful, get the Radiant Cream Shampoo. By
P-R-E-L-L, Prell Shampoo. Leaves hair radiant, gleaming bright. Not a bit of dandruff is in sight. Comes in a tube, handy too. P-R-E-L-L, Prell Shampoo.
By Prell Shampoo. And now back to The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley.
What's the matter, Pop? You look like you're worried.
Well, of course I'm worried. That college dean is coming here tonight. When she sees the kind of a dope Babs has for her father, they won't give her no scholarship. Your Uncle Baxter was right, Junior.
Oh, now don't listen to Uncle Baxter. Well, you're not a dope. I think you're smart.
Well, you're sweet, son. But you just think I'm smart because you're a dope like your father. I bet I make a fool of myself with that dean.
Well, no, you won't.
Don't contradict me. I will. That's because I ain't got no culture. Like at that music alley that Babs' music class gave. She introduced me to some long-haired guy, and she said, "Meet Igor Grabowski, the conductor." And I said, "What streetcar you working on, Mac?" See, when I meet somebody cultured, I get scared stiff.
Oh, Riley. Riley, my poor chap.
Baxter, how long you been in here?
Long enough to hear your touching confessional. My boy, I want to help you.
You do? You really help me? Yeah. I want Babs to be proud of me.
Well, the problem is a difficult one. You know the old adage, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Try hard.
Well, now, let me think.
Babs has got to get that scholarship. I'll do anything.
Eureka, I have it. Your problem is solved. What? Tonight, when the dean is introduced to Chester A. Riley,
yes?
She will encounter a man of profound intellect, irresistible charm, and broad culture.
I'll be like that in 2 hours?
No, I will.
Say that again in smaller words.
Tonight, I will make the supreme sacrifice. I will take the name of Riley.
What? Pop, you're turning purple.
I will pose as Babs' father, and you may be me, Uncle Max.
That's the last straw. Ever since you came here, you've been taking my suits, taking my ties, taking my food. Now you want to take my name.
It's merely for tonight. My plan...
I got other plans for you tonight. There's a Greyhound bus leaving for New York at 8. You're going to be on that hound. Start packing. That Baxter. What a leech. Expects me to carry him the rest of his life. I ain't going to carry a guy who's able to work.
That's exactly the way I feel, believe me.
Who's that?
It is I, Digby Odell, the friendly undertaker.
Oh, I didn't see you, Digger. The street is pitch black tonight.
Yes, lovely evening, isn't it? Greetings, Riley. You're looking fine. For you.
Well, I don't feel fine, Digger. My wife's Uncle Baxter is back.
Oh, no, that good-for-nothing loafer? Eye on him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know Baxter. He once worked for you, didn't he?
Work? He just laid around all day. I couldn't tell whether he was an employee or a customer. And even more reprehensible, the scoundrel started to take horse race bets in my business establishment.
No kidding. He was a bookie?
He almost ruined me professionally. You remember the late Mr. McGillicuddy?
Oh, yeah, one of your customers.
One day a relative phoned and said, I'd like some information about Mr. McGillicuddy. And your Uncle Baxter replied, he looks good to me, put $2 on his nose. Oh, I was mortified.
Well, I got worse trouble than Baxter. You see, my girl Babs got a scholarship.
Ah, what joy to have brilliant offspring. Now, my eldest boy, Mustang, is a dullard. He's been going to the Mortician's Academy for 3 years, and he still doesn't know his head from a hole in the ground.
Oh, fuck. I'm glad about the scholarship, but I'm afraid she won't get it. The dean is going to interview me, and, well, I don't think I'll make a good impression. I'm not very clever at talking.
Nonsense, Riley. You can talk magnificently. I'll put you alongside of any one of my customers. And you'll have a lot more to say than he will.
Well, what I mean is I ain't got no culture like you got, did you?
Riley, I'll make a confession. For years, I was a deadhead. But then I bought this little book, and now I'm the life of the party.
Book? Let's see. How to Impress People. Bright sayings for all occasions.
There are chapters on art, music, literature. I'll lend it to you.
Oh, thanks, Digger. I could memorize this and... Oh, boy, when I meet that dean, I'll be a sensation. Oh, Digger, how can I ever pay you back?
You don't have to pay me back.
Boy, I'll knock that dean dead.
Riley, I repeat, you don't have to pay me back. Well, cheerio. I'd better be shoveling off.
Pop, wake up. She's here.
Who's here?
The dean, Mrs. Whitaker. She's in the living room.
But she ain't supposed to be here until 9. Where's your mother? Where's Babs?
Well, they went shopping. I don't know where.
Well, then tell the dean they ain't in.
Well, I did, but she says it doesn't matter. She'd just like to talk to you.
Oh, but this is terrible. Baxter! Baxter! Uncle Baxter.
What is it, heartless one?
Baxter, she's here. The dean.
How nice. Now, if you please excuse me, I'm packing.
No, Baxter, you gotta help me. I can't face her alone. I thought I could... I was going to study this little book here, How to Impress People, but I fell asleep.
Sleep. The natural refuge of the muscle-bound mentality.
Oh, you're so right, Baxter. Please, Babs has got to get this scholarship. You got to go in there and pretend that you're me, like you said before.
Hand me that tie, Nate.
No, Baxter, please, you got to help me.
And now that shirt,
No,
please.
Baxter, don't go.
But you ordered me to be gone by 8.
I know I was mean to you, but if you'll help me, I'll reform. You can live here as long as you want.
Now, let me see. Have I got everything? Mustache wax, gloves, opera cape.
Baxter, I'll let you wear all my suits.
They're all much too small.
I'll have them let out.
Top hat, white tie, formal teeth.
Baxter, you can eat all you want.
Briefcase, monocle.
Chicken every day. You know the part I always give you? I'll eat it.
And dental floss. Yes, I am ready.
Look, Baxter, look. I'm on my knees to you. Help me.
Goodbye, Riley.
Baxter, don't go. I'll give you an allowance. $2 a week.
I'll wire you where to forward my trunk.
$5.
Fine. Goodbye, Riley.
$10. Hello, Riley. Welcome home, Uncle Baxter. Oh, bless you, bless you.
Now get up off your knees. I'm going to wear that suit. I don't want the crease through it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, come along. We've kept the Dean waiting long enough.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I'm Chester Riley, and you're my Uncle Baxter.
Yeah, okay, I'll remember. You're me, and I'm you.
And don't talk.
Well, I can't just stand there. I got to say something.
Just how do you do, and that's all.
All right. Well, here goes.
Oh, my dear Dean Whittaker, I'm Chester Riley.
How do you do, Mr. Riley?
And this is my uncle, Mr. Baxter Turnbull.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I must apologize for receiving you in this hovel. My Beverly Hills home is being redecorated. This is my Uncle Baxter's place.
Oh, this is your home, Mr. Turnbull.
How do you do?
Tell me, Mr. Riley. Mr. Riley, have you lived in Los Angeles long?
Well, I divide my time between here and my townhouse in New York. I usually winter here in California, those beastly eastern winters.
Yes, they can be most uncomfortable. Don't you think so, Mr. Turnbull?
Well, in my opinion...
Uncle Baxter.
How do you do?
Well, you're very fortunate, Mr. Riley, having 2 homes.
Beg pardon, 3.
3?
Didn't I mention my old castle in Venice, Italy? Oh, I wish you could see my moat.
Indeed?
Isn't I rarely stay put in any one place? Whenever the mood strikes me, I board my yacht and just loaf my way across the Mediterranean. Or I loaf my way up the Nile.
Yeah, he's a great loafer.
Uncle Baxter.
How do you do?
Really? I must be running along, Mr. Riley.
Oh, so soon, my dear Dean.
Yes, I'm sorry. Well, goodbye, Mr. Riley.
Oh, wow. Not goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Turnbull.
How do you do? I mean, goodbye. About Bed's scholarship, I mean, it's okay, huh?
Well, we usually let you know by mail, but in this case, I think...
Oh, hello.
Bed's. This is Bed's, Mrs. Whittaker. This is Mrs. Riley. This is Mrs. Whittaker, the dean.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mrs. Whittaker? I'm so sorry we weren't in when you came.
Well, it's quite all right. I accomplished what I came for.
Yeah, the dean was just telling us that it's okay about Bed's scholarship.
Oh, but I'm afraid it isn't. Mm-hmm. You see, Peabody scholarships are awarded only to deserving girls whose parents have limited means. But since Mr. Riley has 3 homes and a yacht, will you understand? 3.
But, Mrs. Whittaker...
And a moat. I'm sorry, Mrs. Riley. Now, if I had been the daughter of Mr. Turnbull here, why...
Mr. Turnbull?
How do you do?
Well, I really must run. It's been grand. Good night.
Good night. Well, Riley,
Yeah, you see, Baxter pretended that he was me and I was him, and...
What?
And that's...
Of all the idiotic ideas.
Yeah, and there's the idiot that done it, right?
Me? What on earth are you talking about? You begged me to do it. I was about to leave. You pleaded on your knees that I stay.
Never mind what I said. This time you're really going. Out!
Riley, please.
Out you go, Baxter. I don't care what you do to me, but when you break my poor little girl's heart, when you wreck her whole future, look at her there with the tears streaming down her... Babs, wipe that smile off your face.
But, Daddy, I don't want that scholarship.
Now, look, she's hysterical from grief.
I found out that school's a colossal drift. No sororities, no dances.
Babs,
and there isn't a boy within 20 miles. If I'd gotten that scholarship, you'd have made me go there. But now that I have to pay for college, I might as well go to UCLA and live. Oh... Oh, Uncle Baxter, I could kiss you.
Well, as usual, my instinct was right. I sensed you didn't want that scholarship, so I saw to it that you didn't get it.
Baxter, how could you? I don't care. This don't change nothing. You're still leaving.
Oh, Daddy, don't be like that. Let Uncle Baxter stay.
No, my head's made up.
Riley, what the world needs is love.
Okay. Let him stay.
Oh, thank you, dear nephew. Yours is a noble soul, refusing to turn out the man who once saved your life.
I know, Baxter, I know. Once you gave me a pint of your blood, and for the rest of my life you're going to take it back drop by drop.
The Rileys will be back in just a moment. Congratulations pour in for Prell, Procter & Gamble's Radiant Cream Shampoo in a handy tube. Mrs. Frances Moran of Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, has this to say about Prell.
You're right. Prell is really the Radiant Cream Shampoo. My hair has never been so radiant, so soft and smooth. Add my name to the list of steady Prell users.
Yes, one trial and you'll agree. Prell's a wonder for two reasons. First, Prell removes unsightly dandruff quickly. Second, Prell leaves hair shining with radiance. You'll sing about
P-R-E-L-L, Prell Shampoo. Leaves hair radiant, gleaming bright. Not a bit of dandruff is in sight. Comes in a tube, handy too. P-R-E-L-L, Prell Shampoo.
Hey, Pop, I just saw Uncle Baxter take that turkey leg you were saving for your lunch out of the icebox.
Oh, he did, huh? Well, that's all right, son. Wish him a hearty appetite.
Well, that's the way to talk, dear.
Oh, sure. Let him eat all he wants.
Oh, you're sweet.
My tongue!
Oh, Uncle Baxter, what happened?
Peg, you're looking at a second Thomas Edison. I just invented a turkey leg with a built-in mouse trap.
Procter & Gamble invites you to join us again next week to hear The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. The script is by Reuben Shipp and Alan Lipscott, with music by Lou Kozloff. Mrs. Riley is Paula Winslow. Digger Odell is John Brown. Uncle Baxter is Hans Conry. The Life of Riley is produced and directed by Irving Brecker.
She was the Duchess daughter, her finery looked just so. She washed them all as you water with wonderful ivory snow.
Ah, wonderful ivory snow. The soap that's so kind to your hands, you just know it's kind to sheer nylons and dainty lingerie. And your hands will tell you why Ivory Snow keeps lovely washables lovely longer. Prove it. This week, wash dishes with Ivory Snow. When you see how it pampers your hands, you'll really know it's extra kind to fine fabrics. There's no other soap like it. Ivory Snow is the only soap, both ivory mild and in granulated form. Make suds instantly in lukewarm, even in cool water. Your hands will tell you why Ivory Snow keeps pretty lingerie and other nice things lovely longer.
Oh, wonderful ivory snow.
S-N-O-W.
This is Ken Niles reminding you that for radiantly clean, lovely hair, get the shampoo in the tube. P-R-E-L-L, Prell Shampoo. Listen again next week when Prell brings you The Life of Riley. And now stay tuned for Truth or Consequences. Good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Andy, did you hear that? Come on, will you?
Did I hear what?
That whistle. That's the Rinso White whistle.
And Rinso means us.
That's right. Rinso gets clothes Rinso White, and Rinso presents the Amos and Andy Show.
Rinso White.
Yes, Rinso White.
Rinso Bright.
Yes, Rinso Bright. And, folks, a Rinso White, Rinso Bright wash can't be beat. No wonder Rinso is the only soap recommended by the makers of 33 leading washers. No wonder so many millions of women say,
Rinso gets out stubborn dirt fast.
soapy, rich, hard-working suds that get your white clothes dazzling Rinso white. Help keep your washable colors Rinso bright, safely. Next wash day, remember.
Rinso white. Rinso bright.
Use Rinso for a wash that's Rinso white and Rinso bright. Now our stars, Amos and Andy. Andy is writing a Lovelorn column on the Harlem paper under the name of Juliet Hart. In his column, he advised one girl who signed her name Broken Hearted to sue the man who jilted her for breach of promise. The man turned out to be Andy, and the girl has started suit. Right now, Andy is hiding under the Kingfish's desk as a process server questions the Kingfish regarding Andy's whereabouts.
Excuse me, mister, I didn't hear what you say. Who is it you're looking for?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Andrew Brown.
Is it by any chance Andrew H. Brown?
That's right.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, then why'd you ask me what his initial was?
Well, I wanted to be sure that he was the man I never heard of.
Listen, I saw Andy Brown walk into this building not 1 minute ago. Now, he couldn't have gotten by you without you seeing him.
Yes, he could, yes. I had my back on him when he walked past. I remember saying to the stranger, pardon my back, Andy.
Andy, huh? If he was a stranger to you, how come you know his name was Andy?
Oh, you just told me.
Now, listen, don't try to tell me Andrew H. Brown didn't come into this building. He was described to me as being a heavy-set fellow with flat feet and wearing a derby.
Oh, you mean him. Oh, that one with the derby. Oh, Andrew H. Brown. Yeah. Oh, why didn't you say so? Yeah, well, now, there's a funny thing, mister. I've been trying to keep him out of this lodge, but ever so often he sort of take a cut through here, you know, a shortcut. Yeah, he come in the front door and go out the back door, and I don't see him again for 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, so why don't you try again in 1955? Well, so long and a happy decade to you. Yeah.
All right. I see what you're up to. But I'm telling you right now that Andrew Brown is going to be served with a summons no matter how we have to do it. Goodbye.
Yeah, you can come out from under that desk now, Andy.
Oh, me. Was I doubled up in a knot there. And my body just wasn't built for Dublin, Kingfish.
Yeah, you was making noise under that, too. He almost hit you once. I told you to keep quiet.
Well, I couldn't help moving around. You know that little cigar stump that I had in my mouth that I was chewing on?
Yeah.
I swallowed it. Boy, I feel awful.
Yeah, I imagine you would.
Yeah, I'll say. It was a 15-center.
Yeah. Now, look, Andy, about this other thing. I don't want to get in no trouble hiding you from the process service. Now, this is the third time somebody done been in here with a summons, and I stand up telling them I don't know you. And I think you making a mistake ducking these process servers.
What you mean?
Well, just look at the situation. You see, Andy, this gal that's suing you has got the state of New York back of her. What it boils down to is you against the state of New York.
Yeah, it's a big state, too, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, you got a hunk of map there, son. This ain't no Rhode Island you playing around with, you know. And it ain't only the state that's against you. You know who is back of the state, don't you?
Who?
The federal government, that's who. And that includes the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and the Free French.
The Free French. How did they get in there?
They volunteered. Well, you see, Andy, if you won't come to the court, they can subpoena you there.
Yeah. How come they can do that?
Yeah, well, I know you was going to ask me that. I know that. Just know that. Now, I'm going to explain the thing to you once. All I ask you to do is to listen. Now, get everything out your head and just listen.
Yeah, well, I got my ears open and my head's empty. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, when Thomas Jefferson...
who?
Don't even know the father of our country. What is the matter?
Listen, Kingfish, what I want to know is...
Wait a minute. Now, you so smart. I want to hear you explain. Now, go on, explain it to me. You know everything. Go on, now, say it.
Well, the Constitution of the United States gives the state a right to serve you with a summons.
Well, I certainly had a hard time getting that in your head, didn't I? Listen, can the governor of a state...
look here, the governor can't move without the legislature.
The legislature? What is that?
Well, I know that was coming too. I know. Yeah. Now, I'll explain it to you. The legislature, well, the legislature is something that every governor has got to have before he can be a governor. Oh, it's a big thing.
How big?
Oh, how big? Why, as big as that wall over there, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's big, all right. But look, Kingfish, so far all you done told me is the size of a legislature. You ain't told me what it is or what it's made out of.
Well, now, I'll tell you, Andrew, I don't know what legislatures was made of before the war, and I don't want to yell because, well, I don't want to tell you nothing I ain't sure of. If I ain't got the fact, I shuts up. That's the kind of fella I is, you know.
Yeah. Well, never mind before the war. What is legislatures made out of now?
Lucite.
Well, look here, I still don't understand it. Now, how the governor got the right to arrest me just because they got some lucite wall? Now, you know, if I was...
Well, howdy there, fellas.
Oh, me. Don't ever bust in here like that no more, Amos. Lock the door, will you, Kingfish?
Sit down, Amos. I'll lock the door. What's the matter?
Well, you know I've been writing that love column for the newspaper under the name of Juliet Hart.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, you see, a gal writes him by the name of Broken Hearted, Amos, and wants to know what to do about the boyfriend of hers that proposed to her and then dropped her like a hot potato. Andy here tells her to sue the guy for breach of promise, and the guy that Broken Hearted is asking about happens to be Andy. Well, Andy, if there ain't no natural trouble around to get in, you make up some trouble and then jump in it.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to serve me with a summons, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to move out of my office, and I'm going to start living over at Lightning's house. I'm going to keep writing my Lovelorn column from there till this thing blows over. Because I ain't going to let them serve me with no summons.
Listen, Amos, I'll tell you what you can do. Now, wait a minute, Kingfish. I don't want no part of it. I think you're both playing a losing game. Just leave me out of it. So long, fellas.
There you is, Kingfish. That Amos walking out on us. He leaves us rats on a sinking ship.
Where you going?
I is taking Lightning over to my office, get all this stuff out as quick as I can, and move over to Lightning's house. I'll duck these summonses. Here, Lightning, we're going over to your house. Now, here, you carry the typewriter. Pick it up.
Yeah, sir. I got it, Miss Landon.
Yeah, now, here, I'll put this box of writing paper on top of that.
Yeah, sir.
And now, here's a couple of big packages of letters. I'll put them on top of that.
Yeah, so I got to do some juggling on the way over there, ain't I?
We'll outsmart these guys, Lightning. Now, here, Lightning, I'll put this bottle of ink and pen and a potato in your pocket.
Yeah, what is you going to carry, Miss Landon?
Well, I got the stamps, ain't I?
Pardon me, but would I be asking too much to ask you to let me use your phone?
Listen, this is a private phone, and I ain't going to let no...
Hell.
No. No. It would be very charming to have you use the phone. Lightning, get going. I'll meet you over there.
Yeah, sir. I'll whiz right over there.
Do you have a telephone book?
Why, yeah. Anything I could do for a good-looking gal like you, I was at your service.
Oh, I was supposed to meet my boyfriend on the corner, and he didn't show up.
Yeah, well, now, wait just a minute, honey. Before you call him, I don't think he's treating you right.
It was inconsiderate.
Yeah. By the way, does you live here in Harlem?
Yes, I do.
Long?
4 years.
I ain't been covering this territory like I ought to. Honey, let me break the ice by telling you that I love you.
Well, that's really breaking the ice, all right.
Oh, boy, you is the prettiest thing I done ever seen. Sit down, honey, sit down.
Oh, I don't see but one chair, and you're sitting in it.
Well... Come here. Why don't you sit on the arm of the chair here?
Oh, well, really, I think you're breaking the ice a little too fast.
I really chops it up, don't I?
me a minute. I want to lock the front door and pull down the shade.
Oh, well, just a minute. Why are you doing that?
Well, don't worry, honey, don't worry. It just happens that a banker is looking for me, wants me to go in on a deal, and I don't want him to know I was here. With me, love comes first.
Oh, I see.
Sit back down on the arm of the chair.
I hardly know you.
Oh, well, you're going to know me fast.
Oh, what'll I call you?
Oh, well, how about Dougie Wuggy?
Oh, well, that's cute, all right. But what's your real name?
Andrew H. Brown. Do you like that?
Oh, I love it.
You do?
Yes, I do, Mr. Brown. Oh, here's a summons for you.
Singing accentuates the positive. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. That's right, to the affirmative and don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread that joy right up to the maximum. Bring blue right down to the minimum. Have faith of pandemonium. Liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, don't I in the way. Just when everything looks so dark, and the very better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. That's right, to the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You was our lawyer, and me and Anders here to give some advice. Yeah, you see, I was writing a column for the paper under the name of Juliet Hart, and I done told a gal to sue the fella that jilted her. The fella turned out to be me, and she's suing me for breach of promise. What must I do, Gabby?
Well, before I tell you, you guys got to pay for this stuff. You got to pay for my advice. Don't forget that with the exception of not going to college when I belong to the Bar Association, besides not having a diploma, I was a full-fledged lawyer.
Yeah, now, well, look here, Anders won't pay. You see, he gets $35 a week for writing the love column as Juliet Hart. Yeah, it wasn't fair for them to send a woman over to my office to serve me with that summons. Now I'm facing a breach of promise suit. Oh, I tell you, I'm sick about it. What can I do, Gary?
Well, let me think. Now, let me see. Now, wait a minute. I got something. I really got something. You can refuse to recognize that summons on the grounds of illegal entry. Illegal entry.
Illegal entry? How do you figure that?
Well, the gal made an entry into your office, snapped you with illegal paper, and now you was ill about it. That's illegal entry, finally, here?
Well, now, look here. Andy has got the summons, and that's that. How can he get this girl, Viola Johnson, that writ him under the name of Broken Hearted, to drop the breach of promise suit?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to build a tight defense, First of all, Andy, tell me, she got anything in writing?
No, I never writ Viola nothing.
Oh, that's fine. This defense is really getting tight.
Yeah, even my proposal was done in person.
Oh, that's great. This defense is getting tighter and tighter.
And I was all alone with her when I done the proposal.
Oh, this is wonderful. Of all defenses I know, this is now the tightest.
But her mama heard everything I said over the transom.
Gentlemen, the whole thing just loosened up.
You see here, this Viola Johnson that writ the letter in his Broken Hearted don't know that Ann is Juliet Hart.
I got it. I sure is a smart man. Why they don't let me practice law in court, I'll never know. Listen, this gal Broken Hearted don't know who writes the column of Juliet Hart. Kingfish, you go to see Broken Hearted. Tell her you writes the column of Juliet Hart. You is Juliet Hart. Tell her you gets very careless when you answer and you made a mistake. Tell her that she ain't got no grounds for suing a bartender. Ain't got no grounds.
Yeah, so you see, Miss Johnson, I was the one who wrote the love column in the paper under the name of Juliet Hart.
You, Juliet Hart?
That's right, and I come here to tell you that the advice that I give you to sue Andrew Brown was wrong. You see, there was a mix-up in my mail. Happens a lot of times. I send out the answers to one person's letter that's supposed to be the answer to somebody else's. See what I mean?
No, I don't. What do you mean?
Well, for example, I got a couple of letters yesterday. One was from a husband.
Yes.
He said to me, the cat gets more attention around the house than I does. What must I do? Then I get another letter from another husband asking me, how can I keep my mother-in-law from butting in? Now, them two letters got switched around with my answer.
Twist around.
Yeah, now in the case of the cat, I told the man to get her a boyfriend. In the case of the mother-in-law butting in, I told the man to drown her. You see, that's how it is.
Just 1 second. Are you trying to tell me that the advice you gave me to sue for breach of promise was intended for somebody else?
Oh, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You see, the advice you were supposed to get was be to drop the whole thing. You ain't got no kids, and to forget about it. Now that you was going to forget it, I'll be running along.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to forget it. My lawyer thinks I should sue, and I've gone to a lot of trouble already.
Yeah, well, now, wait a minute. Is I to understand that you were still thinking of suing?
That's right.
Mrs. Johnson, I happens to know that Andrew Brown ain't got no money. So if you sues and wins the case, you'll have to go to jail. Now, I want to ask you just a question, just one question. Does you want to see Andrew Brown go to the penitentiary for the rest of his life?
Yes.
I withdraw the question.
Listen, Andy Brown has caused me a lot of trouble, and even if I can't get any money out of him, he ought to be made to pay in some way for what he's done.
Yeah, but Miss Johnson, think it over. Give the boy a break.
Well, I'm going to see my lawyer, and if by any chance I should decide not to sue, I'll let Andy Brown know by 12 o'clock tomorrow.
A Rinso whitewash.
With ease.
A Rinso bright wash.
With safety.
Rinso white for a wash that's white as it can be. Rinso bright. B-R-I-G-H-T. Yes, Rinso keeps your colors bright. Gets out more dirt for a wash so white. Here's great advice. You can't go wrong. Rinso white. Rinso bright. Happy little wash day song.
Plenty of reason to be happy with Rinso. Those soapy rich suds get your whitewash sparkling clean. Help keep washable colors bright and fresh. Yet Rinso gives you an easy wash day.
No tiresome scrubbing and boiling. Goodness, that certainly is a blessing, what with washes not being made.
Sure, Rinso soaks clothes clean in as little as 10 minutes. A few quick finger rubs on extra soiled places and your clothes are ready to rinse.
And am I ever proud when I hang out my Rinso wash.
For next wash day, remember, get that big green and yellow box for a Rinso whitewash.
With ease.
A Rinso bright wash.
With safety.
Shorty, I am so nervous. I won't find out till 12 o'clock, 2 hours yet, whether Viola Johnson going to sue me or not. I has been so upset I didn't sleep all last night.
Yeah, I noticed you dozed off in the barber chair here.
Well, I'll say one thing, Shorty. That was a good shave you gave me while I was dozing. I didn't feel a thing. My face ain't burning, and it don't feel like there's no nicks in it, neither.
Yeah, well, on account of you and dozing, I took it very easy. I sharpened the razor real good. I used a lather that really softened up your... I was very careful to... What I did was... I ain't shaved it yet.
Well, forget the shave, Shorty. Forget it. I am so shaky today, the chances is I'll get cut by the razor.
Don't let that stop me, Andy. I'll shave you anyway. I was nervous, too. I'll shake right along with you.
No. Let it go, Shorty. Oh, me. I hope that Viola Johnson drops that suit. Women's is always trouble, Shorty.
Yeah, she do drop the suit. Let that be a lesson here to keep away from women, Andy. I'm telling you, women ain't no good. Women are just a lot of trouble. Women mess up their life. Women are just... ain't they wonderful?
Listen, Shorty, listen. I done learned my lesson about them now. I done had enough of women. So let's stop talking about it.
All right, Andy. I won't mention another word about women.
Good. Well, say so.
Sure limits the conversation, don't it? Oh, say, Andy, is you still keeping up with your Lovelorn column as Juliet Hart?
Oh, sure, yeah. And by the way, if I can help you with some love hints, well, I'm going to be glad to do it for you. You look like you might need some love advice.
Yeah. What you mean, Andy?
Well, for example, there's some people that's the forward type, and some people that's the weak and meek type. Tell me this, how you act when you were sitting alone with your gal?
Well, I was the kind of a bashful... I was kind of bashful. I don't know exactly what to do. I don't say much to it. I never put my arm on. I don't know what to... I'm a wolf.
Oh, I tell you, Amos, I was as nervous as a cat. I got a half hour more before that Miss Brokenhearted, that Viola Johnson, is going to let me know she's dropping the suit.
Yeah, well, Andy, I sure pulling for you, son.
Yeah, I was pulling for me, too. I keep telling myself she ain't going to sue. She ain't going to sue. But it don't give me no comfort.
It don't?
No. How can I take the word of a fella like me?
Yeah, well, I see what you mean there, all right. You ought to try and calm down a little, though. And look at your hands there, Andy. They're shaking like a leaf. They're shaking a mile a minute.
Yeah, I know it, Amos. I know it. And there ain't nothing I can do about it. I even bought a bottle of nerve tonic to see if that would help.
And it didn't stop your hands from shaking at all, huh?
No. And I poured the whole bottle all over them, too.
Well, Andy, there's still one bright spot about this whole thing. You're still writing the column with Juliet Hart, and you're getting $35 a week for it.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Here comes the Kingfish. You know, he's getting half of my salary for arranging that deal.
Come in, Kingfish.
Yeah, how is you, Kingfish?
Hello, Amos. Hello, Andy.
Uh-oh. I can look at your face, and without you opening your mouth, I can tell that you has got news. And it's bad.
Yeah, you don't look very cheerful.
I ain't.
Tell Juliet Hart your troubles. As if I ain't got enough of my own.
Well, I went over to the newspaper to get your letters, Andy, addressed to Juliet Hart, and I run into the editor of the paper.
Oh, you did, huh? What'd he say?
He says, Mr. Stevens, in this newspaper business, we has what is known as scoops. When a piece of news comes out, the first one gets it has got a scoop. Then he looked at me and he says, I'm going to give you a scoop. Flash. Juliet Hart is fired, unflash.
Fired?
Now, don't stand there with ignorance all over your face now. You was done heard the word before. The only trouble is this time I had to listen to it for you. And the man jumped down my throat like I was dumb as you was.
Was he mad, Kingfish?
He had to get mad to be like he was. The veins were sitting out on his head, little beads of water all over his face.
Well, what's wrong?
He said it took him 25 years to build up the newspaper, and he ain't gonna let no bum like you tear it down in 1 week. He said he ain't never seen no stupid advice to the lovesick people like you've been giving out for the last few days.
Oh, how can he say that? It ain't no stupider than it was the first few days.
Well, anyway, you was fired. The show was over. Slip out of your petticoat, Juliet.
Well, listen, I still own the name Juliet Hart. That belongs to me. I'll fix him. I'll take it to the other newspaper.
Yeah, he told me he hoped you'd do that, too.
Huh?
Well, fellas, that's that.
And I love that work, too.
You love that... Andy, look who coming across the street here. Viola Johnson, Miss Brokenhearted.
Oh, yeah.
She coming in here to...
She sure is. She's coming in here to give me the answer. That's just what she's doing.
Yeah, look here. I done told her that I was Juliet Hart. I better get out the back way.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, so long, fella. So long.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, Viola. You got the answer?
Yes, Andy. I've decided not to sue.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What a relief.
Oh, I feel so terrible about starting that breach of promise suit. It wasn't my fault, Andy. It was just because I had some stupid advice.
Oh, I'll forgive you, honey. You was done already withdrawed the suit, ain't you?
Oh, yes. That's been withdrawn.
Oh, that's the gal. Sit down on the arm of my chair here, honey child. I want to chop up a little ice with you.
Oh, Andy, you'll never know what I've been through. If I hadn't got that bad advice, I would never have started that breach of promise suit.
Oh, I love you, baby. The breach of promise suit is off, ain't it?
Oh, yes, Andy. But I'll tell you what.
What's that, sugar?
On the advice of my lawyer, I'm starting a suit for $1,000 for mental anguish against Juliet Hart.
be back in just a moment.
Did you say a whitewash?
No, I said a Rinso whitewash.
Did you say a bright wash?
No, I said a Rinso bright wash.
That makes a difference.
Yes, indeed. Rinso makes a difference in your wash. Those soapy, rich Rinso suds get clothes Rinso white and Rinso bright.
Rinso's ground for dishwashing, too. Makes the job so much easier and so much quicker.
And it's so easy on your hands. So get Rinso tomorrow for dishwashing and for a Rinso whitewash.
A Rinso bright wash.
And now, here are Amos and Andy.
Well, Andy, you were sure lucky to get that gal to drop her suit against Juliet Hart.
Yeah, that's been a great lesson to me, Amos.
Yeah, how about coming over to our house tonight for supper, Andy?
Sorry, Amos, I can't tonight. I got an appointment to chop up a little ice.
Again next Friday evening at this same time when the makers of Rinso again present the Amos and Andy Show. This program is broadcast to our armed forces all over the world. This is Harlow Wilcox saying good night to all of you from all of us. You ladies are stretching your red ration points just as far as they'll go, aren't you? And I guess 2 extra red points would come in mighty handy, right? Well, you can get 2 extra points just by turning in 1 pound of used fats. Yes, you get 4 cents and 2 red points for every pound of waste fats you turn in to your butcher. You know, right now, you ladies are doing a pretty good job of turning in those waste fats. But if every woman scraped together every drop she could, we'd be collecting about 3 times what we're collecting now. That would mean 3 times as much waste fat for life-saving medicines, for military supplies, for other vital uses. Keep a salvage container on the back of your stove, ladies. Scrape every drop of waste fat, no matter how black or burned, into that container. And when it's full, bring it down to your butcher. Save waste fats and turn them in regularly.
Why is Lifebuoy America's favorite bath soap? I'll tell you 2 big reasons. Lifebuoy in your daily bath gives all-over protection from BO. Yes, from head to toe it stops BO. And Lifebuoy gives protection that lasts and lasts. So play safe. Make sure Lifebuoy's in your soap dish. Remember, it's the only soap especially made to stop BO. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Hello? Are you there? Well, we're here.
Swan's a soap that's pure and gentle. Come on, swing to Swan.
Lever Brothers, the makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, present the Burns and Allen Show with Paul Whiteman. Our singers, Jimmy Cash, yours truly, Bill Goodwin, the 6 hits and a miss, and George Burns and Gracie Allen. Well, unknown to George, Gracie has sent away to the Successful Marriage Institute with their booklet on how to keep husbands happy. She is now on the telephone discussing it with her spinster girlfriend, Tootsie Sagwell. Let's listen in.
Well, yes, Tootsie. It's a course that tells wives how to keep their husbands completely fascinated. What? No. I had it mailed to your house because George mustn't know about it. You see, I want to fascinate him secretly. Huh? Uh-huh. So the minute you get it, bring it right over here and we'll... Here comes George. Goodbye.
Gracie, what were you talking to Tootsie about?
Who? Me?
Yeah, what were you and Tootsie talking about?
Oh, the weather?
Are you asking me or telling me?
No, I'm telling you. We were talking about the weather.
Well, you girls better be careful with those military secrets.
Oh, well, that's silly. How can they keep the weather a secret? You just look out the window and there it is.
Well, we don't want the Japs to know what kind of weather we're having in California.
Oh, well, they wouldn't care anyway. They only like very, very cold weather.
Japs only like very, very cold weather?
Sure. I read in the paper that they even left Alaska because it got too hot for them.
I think you got something there.
No, I'll answer it, dear.
I still don't believe you were talking to Tootsie about the weather.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Postman.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. I only have a postcard for you today.
Oh, well, that's all right. I know you did your best. How are you feeling, Mr. Postman?
Oh, wonderful, Mrs. Burns. See, I get plenty of exercise. That's what keeps me in this marvelous shape.
I see.
Yes, you take my brother Jim now. He's a mailman back east, and he gets plenty of exercise, too. I'd say Jim's in even better health than I am, if such a thing is possible.
Well, I don't see how it could be.
You know what Jim did just recently? He walked all through Egypt, and then he hiked his way through China.
Oh, what was he doing over there?
Well, Jim's very conscientious. He was trying to deliver some mail to a fellow on his route. A fellow named Wilkie. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, goodbye, Mr. Postman.
Any mail, Gracie?
Oh, just a postcard. Oh, my goodness. It's from my brother Willie, George. Guess what? He's enlisting.
Your brother Willie?
Yes.
Well, if everybody will just buckle down and kind of do their jobs, I think we can win the war anyway. What branch of service is he going into? The Navy?
Oh, no. He couldn't wear those sailor pants. Where they're wide, he's narrow, and where they're narrow, he's wide.
Well, what about the Army? For instance, the artillery?
Oh, no. Too much noise. His ears are very delicate.
What about the cavalry?
Oh, no. Willie's delicate all over.
Well, that's too bad.
Of course, he'd really like to be in a submarine, but he wouldn't be much good there.
Why not?
He can't open his eyes underwater.
Well, that would be bad. Why doesn't he get into the tank corps?
Tanks are too stuffy for him. When he rides, he likes to put the top down.
Well, I've got it. How about being an anti-aircraft gunner?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Well, hooray.
Except for one thing.
I was afraid of that.
He couldn't be an anti-aircraft gunner because he's too stoop-shouldered to look up.
Well, can't he lie down on his back?
Yeah, but when he lies on his back, he's so round-shouldered he rocks himself to sleep.
Well, I give up. You know, Gracie, your brother is the... come in?
Gracie, darling! Tootsie! Bagwell!
Oh, no. Look, I'm going out for a walk.
Oh, how long will you be gone, dear?
How long will you be here, Tootsie?
15 minutes, George.
16 minutes, Gracie.
Isn't that strange, Gracie? Men don't like me, and neither does your husband.
Don't mind George, Tootsie. Did my successful marriage booklet arrive?
Yes, here it is. Oh, gee, I wish I had a husband to fascinate.
Well, at least you've still got your war work.
No, Gracie, I don't do that now either.
You quit selling bonds in Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes. You see, I was sitting there in my booth yesterday with a lovely new uniform on, and the handsomest young man came along.
Yes?
He bought a bond, and then he said, "Gee, Mr. Don Levy, you certainly were swell in Wake Island."
Well, come on, Tootsie. Let's look at this book together. Maybe you'll get a few pointers. Let's hurry before George gets back.
All right.
Chapter 1. Don't let marriage break up your home. The Successful Marriage Institute believes...
Hi, girls. Where's George?
Oh, he just went out, Bill. You wait here. Tootsie and I are going into the library. We have to read something confidential. Come on, Tootsie.
Oh, Mr. Goodwin. Oh, you look just as handsome as ever.
Well, thanks, Tootsie. You haven't changed much either.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, Tootsie.
Bill, what are you doing Saturday night?
Saturday? Oh, well, Tootsie, that's the night I'm going to read my new encyclopedia. You know, the one the Swan people send you for a quarter in a Swan wrapper. It's a great book. Got more than 1 million words on over 15,000 subjects, so I'm going to read up on a little art, science, and history. So let's make it some other time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Bill. Come on, Tootsie.
Bill, what about Sunday?
Sunday? Oh, well, I'll still be reading my encyclopedia. Has 832 pages, you know. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Come on, Tootsie.
How about Monday?
Oh. Well, Monday I look at the maps in my new Swan encyclopedia. It has 8 full pages of maps in color. Great book. Greatest 1-volume encyclopedia I ever saw. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Tuesday?
Oh, well, Tootsie, that's the night I want a special, study the special March of Events section in the encyclopedia. It covers world events right up to this September.
Bill, why don't you get me one of those encyclopedias and bring it over to my house Wednesday night? We can turn the lights down low and read it.
I'm awfully sorry, Tootsie. The only way to get one is to send a quarter and a Swan wrapper to Swan, Box 25, Racine, Wisconsin.
Yeah, come on, Tootsie.
Yes, you just send your 25 cents in the Swan wrapper to Swan, Box 25, Racine, Wisconsin, and you'll get your book.
Well, that only leaves Thursday, and I've got a dinner date Thursday with a handsome...
Oh, gosh, Tootsie, that's too bad. You know, that's the one night I'm free.
Really?
Oh, yes, I always stay home and cook my own dinner on Thursdays because it's the maid's night out.
On second thought, I'll break my date.
On second thought, I'll go out with the maid.
Well, Tootsie, we better read this. George will be back any minute.
Well, all right.
It says, the Successful Marriage Institute believes that a wife must be all things to her husband. Not merely one woman, but many women combined.
Doesn't that sound a little difficult, Gracie?
No, not at all. My mother never even heard of this course, but my father always said that she was at least 3 women.
He did?
Uh-huh. Whenever he tried to sneak out at night, she was at the front door and at the back door and under the bedroom window.
Gracie, do you really think George will respond favorably to this treatment?
I hope so, Tootsie. But you never can tell about a husband. You know what I always say? You can make a lead to water, but you can't horse with a drink.
Yes, I've heard you say it. I always say that.
This is Paul White. Jimmy Cash and the boys and I have fixed up an arrangement of a song that means a lot to the boys going into the service and the gals they left behind. It's I Came Here to Talk for Joe. All right, Jimmy.
I came here to talk for Joe. He wants me to let you know he can't keep that date with you tonight. I came here to talk for Joe. He that kids your love you so. And when he gets the chance, he said he'd write. That boy has so much courage. I've seen the things he can do, but he never has the courage to tell you how he feels about you. Got a perfect alibi. He can't be here and in the sky. So I came here to talk for
Chapter 2. The clever wife who wishes to keep her husband safe from the clutches of a siren must make herself more alluring than any siren could possibly be.
Oh, dear.
Tootsie, that's the one I'll try on George.
You're going to make yourself a siren?
Uh-huh, like that vampy Sally Brown.
Who's Sally Brown?
Oh, you see her at the meat market whenever you're taking your strange kitchen fast. You know, the government needs to waste kitchen fats for explosives and munitions.
I know, but who's Sally Brown?
Well, she's the man who collects the kitchen fat rice.
Oh, but she's no... Wait, did I hear George coming in?
Yeah, I think so. Now, you stay right in here in the library, Tootsie. I'm going to be a siren and make George the happiest man in the world.
Oh, dear.
Oh, great, big, strong, wonderful you.
Huh?
How's about a big kiss for your ever-loving little baby?
Kiddo?
I fascinate you, don't I?
What's this anyway? What's going on here?
Oh, that's the way I like him. Rough, tough, and raucous. Oh. Kiss me, kiddo.
Kiss me, kiddo? Say, what's come over you anyway?
Kiss me, kiddo.
Gracie, are you all right?
I'll say I am. Just trying.
Oh, stop it. You sound like Shanghai Lil or somebody.
Shanghai Lil. Oh, no, there's an alluring name. That's what I need. From now on, I think I'll call myself Beverly Hills Grace.
Beverly Hills Grace?
Kiss me,
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Oh, you're not fascinating. Come on, let's fast.
Gracie, I don't know whether this is a game or not, but I want to stop right now. I don't like it.
But, Judge, don't you like alluring women?
Of course I like alluring women.
Kiss me,
Stop
kiddo.
it. I've had enough of this. I'm going out again.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Don't go away. You stay here and I'll be right back. Did it work, Gracie? Oh, no, it didn't, darn it. I don't know whether I over-allured him or I under-allured him.
Maybe a sweater would help.
Oh, no, Judge doesn't look good in a sweater.
Well, Gracie, why don't you try Chapter 3, The Motherly Approach? It says, the successful wife knows when to mother her man, for every husband is a small boy at heart.
Well, I'll try to be his mother. I'll make believe Judge is young. No, it'll be easy to make believe I'm old. Well, here we go again. Oh, come away. It's time for Mama to give you a bath.
A bath? Oh, Gracie, this is too much. Let me tell you something.
Back already?
Yeah, motherhood didn't seem to mean a thing to him.
Maybe he was an incubator baby.
Oh, no, Tootsie. He must have had a mother. I don't think his father would have been happy with the things like that.
Chapter 4. There are times when your husband will desire the companionship of another man. It is then that you must be a chum to him, a pal. In short, be another man.
Well, it won't be easy. Gee, wonder what men talk about among themselves.
Oh, they laugh at each other's jokes, talk about baseball.
How do you know what men talk to about each other?
Well, because that's what they do when I'm with them, talk to each other.
Well, all right, I'll try it. Well, hiya, Burns, old man. Got a cigar?
A cigar?
Yep, I always say there's nothing like a good Kimona.
Kimona? What's gotten into you today? What is this?
Say, how's about a cigarette, pal?
Gracie, you know you don't smoke. What's the matter with you? Why do you keep running into the library?
How's about a stick of gum?
Well, okay. Here's a stick of gum.
Thanks, buddy. Well, down the hatch.
Well, I give up. This is the limit.
Care to shoot a little crops?
Shoot a little crops?
Well, sure. It's a game, you know. Wham! Little Joe needs a new pair of snake eyes.
Look, Gracie, are you sure that you feel all right?
Sure, I'm sure. Got another stick of gum, Mac?
Oh, sure. Anything you say, dear. Here you are.
Thanks. Well, bottoms up.
Well, this is murder.
Hey, have you heard any new stories lately?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, come on. Let's have one, kid.
Oh, please, Gracie.
Okay. I'll tell one. Did you hear the one about the traveling salesman?
Never mind. Okay, I'll tell one.
Good.
A man went up to a conductor on a streetcar and he said, "Which end of the car do I get off?"
No, that's terrific, Bud. That's marvelous.
Wait a minute.
Oh, boy, what a sense of humor. Nobody can tell a joke the way you tell it, brother.
But I haven't finished.
You got more to tell?
Well, sure. The conductor said to the man, "You can get off at either end. Both ends stop."
Well, that's cute, but I like the first one much better.
Four or 5 months ago, we made a record of a tune we thought was going to be a big hit. And now we know it. It's Kalamazoo with 6 hits and a miss.
George doesn't seem to be one bit happier since I started the successful marriage course.
Try chapter 5. It says here, the successful wife is deeply interested in her husband's business. She discusses it with him constantly.
Oh, I couldn't talk to George about his business, Tootsie. After all, he's a big radio star, and I wouldn't even be on his program if he wasn't giving me a break.
Boy, what a talker that guy must be.
Oh, I think George is very sweet to let me be on his show.
Gracie, do you know how much money George would be making this year if he hadn't met you?
No, how much?
Well, if they wanted to freeze his salary, they'd have to warm it up first.
Well, all right, I'll try chapter 5. I'll act interested in his business. Certainly hope this one works.
Gracie, once and for all, I would like to know why you keep running in and out of the library.
George?
Yes?
How's business?
How's business?
Yes, I understand you're in the radio game.
You understand I'm in the radio game?
Yes, it sounds like such an exciting business. I'll bet you're mighty tired when you come home from a hard day's work, all covered with static and kilocycles.
Yes, I'm worn out.
Tell me, do you get nervous when you start talking into the aerial?
Listen, stop being silly. You know very well you're on the radio program with me.
Oh, we're not discussing my business, dear. We're talking about yours.
Oh, I see.
Have you a big program?
Yes, I have a very big program.
How many tubes?
Gracie, I don't know what's the matter with you today. You've been acting silly, and I'm worried about you, honestly.
Hello, people.
Hello, Bill. Honestly, Gracie, I think I ought to send for a doctor.
What's the matter? Something up?
Well, we've been having a silly discussion about the work I do.
Bill, does that sound like a silly discussion?
Well, no, but it sounds like a short one.
Oh, it's very funny, Bill. Here I am worried to death about Gracie because she's asking me a lot of silly questions about my work, and you have...
You're worried because she asks questions about your work? Why, George, it must be wonderful to have a woman interested in your work.
Well, I'm interested in your work, Bill. What business are you in?
Gracie, are you kidding? I'm with Swan.
Swan? That's a soap, isn't it?
See what I mean, Bill?
Well, Gracie, you know it's a soap. And what a soap. Pure, mild, gentle.
Oh, well, tell me all about it.
Well, you know, it's the new white floating soap that gives you suds faster than you can say, well, anything. And you get those fast suds even in hard water.
Well, tell me more.
I better send for a doctor.
But, Gracie, you know, Swan's great for washing dishes or helping you get your housework done. Those long-lasting suds go after dirt like crazy. And when you use Swan, Gracie, you don't have to worry about your hands. Swan is so kind to your skin.
Well, tell me more.
Oh, poor Gracie. Well, there goes my radio program.
Well, gee, Gracie, you know, Swan's the soap you can break in two with a flick of your wrist, so you get 2 cakes of soap. One for the kitchen to do dishes and cleaning, and the other for your bath, for your tub or shower.
More.
At my age, I got to break in a new girl.
Swan comes in a cool green wrapper.
More.
With a white swan on the front.
More.
It's a great soap.
More?
Yeah. I want to know every tiny little bit of a thing about it.
Well, Gracie, you wait right here. I'll tell you more when I come back.
You going?
Yes.
Where?
Nuts.
Gracie, tell me, what's the reason for all this?
I'll be right back.
Don't tell me, Gracie. I can see it for your face. That one didn't work either, huh?
Oh, that one didn't work the most. It didn't work on 2 people.
Oh. Well, how about this one? Chapter 7. It is often effective for the wife to act the part of a helpless little child, protected by her strong, fierce, handsome brute of a husband.
Oh, you know, Tootsie, I wonder if this course applies to George.
I know what you mean. Listen, there's more. Men are like lions. They have a fierce desire to protect the helpless. Think of yourself as a little child, and your husband is the king of the jungle.
Well, Tootsie, I think this one will get him. I'm a helpless child, and he's a lion.
Uh-huh. Now, I'll stay right here by the door where I can hear what's going on.
All right. Georgie.
Yes?
Oh, Gracie's fighting when she's away from her big, strong mate.
I'm your big, strong mate?
Yeah. You are my lion husband.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe I fibbed once or twice,
George, I'm so helpless without you, so weak and helpless. Would you bring me a glass of water?
Oh, yes, of course. Here's some right here.
Will you hold it to my lips? I'm so weak and helpless. And you're so strong.
Yes, a glass of water is hard to lift. I'm a brute.
Georgie, growl at me.
Growl at you?
Like a lion.
Oh, no.
Oh, you magnificent beast.
I'm a magnificent beast?
Georgie.
What?
Would you defend me with your claws and fangs?
Oh, definitely.
Would you drag home a deer for me and our little cub?
Right away, I'll run out and get one.
Georgie.
Yes?
Ruffle up your mane and wag your tail.
Well, all right.
This I gotta see!
Gracie, what's she doing here?
Well, come on, Tootsie. Okay. I'll see you to the door.
Come on, Georgie.
I'll be right back, dear.
What's been going on in this library anyway? Well, everything looks the same. Well, wait a minute. What's this? The Successful Marriage Institute. Take an interest in your husband's work. Act like a helpless child. Why, that sweet kid. And I thought Gracie was nuts, and here she was trying to be the perfect wife.
Oh, George, you're not supposed to
Oh, that's all right, dear. I'm sorry for the way I acted. And, sweetheart, you know that compact you wanted? And I wouldn't let you spend the $10. Well, go out and get it.
Oh, no, George. I couldn't possibly spend $10. We've got to economize now.
Economize what?
Well, because I just paid $500 for this course.
Some economy, huh?
George and Gracie will be right back. Meanwhile, I'd like to ask you if you've sent for your Swan Encyclopedia yet. Believe me, it's really swell. Your children especially will find it a great help in doing their school homework. And you'll find it a handy reference for thousands of things. It's a terrific bargain, too. All you do to get one is send your quarter and Swan wrapper to Swan, Box 25, Racine, Wisconsin. That's Swan, Box 25, Racine, R-A-C-I-N-E, Racine, Wisconsin. They'll send your encyclopedia along immediately. Act now, because this offer may have to be withdrawn at any time. Now, here are George and Gracie.
George, aren't you glad I took the successful marriage course?
Well, you really didn't need it, sweetheart. You don't have to be a siren with me. I love you just the way you are.
Oh, really?
Certainly.
Kiss me, kiddo.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in again next week, same time. These programs are shortwave to our armed forces everywhere. Remember, Swan now brings you two of radio's top shows. George Burns and Gracie Allen every Tuesday night, and Tommy Riggs and Betty Lou every Friday night over another network. And now till next week, at the same time, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I, Swan, how about you? Good night.
Try Spry. You'll find the baking you turn out fluffy and light. Try Spry. You're sure to hear your family shout, what a delight. For cake, pie, donuts, the things you fry. Try Spry. What's that you say? You're going to try it today?
Why, sure.
Try Spry.
KNX, Columbia Square, Los Angeles. The following announcement is transcribed.